Genius Brain listeners, this podcast is sponsored by BetterHelp. My friends, you should focus on your mental health this year, every year, and for the rest of your life because it's just better for you. It's better for me. I have been using BetterHelp for quite a while now, which is why they are a long-time sponsor, and I personally love it. I have a therapist in my back pocket at the comfort of my home whenever I want, and because I have a tough schedule, I need a therapist to be flexible. So guess what? BetterHelp, it's entirely online. It's designed to be convenient, flexible, and suited to your schedule. All you have to do is fill out a brief questionnaire to get matched with a licensed therapist and switch therapists anytime for no additional charge. Let therapy be your map with BetterHelp. Visit BetterHelp.com/genius today to get 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/genius.
And then I was on TV.
Hold on a second.
Yeah.
The secret when you went to You Think You Can Dance?
That's pretty much when they were like, "Oh, you were really taking that seriously." Because they would
Holy
see like
shit.
they would see like little tidbits of me. Like I can't hide it all the time. But then that was when they were like,
impossible.
"Yeah,
Why is he grabbing the fork
pass
like
the
that?
potatoes." What was that?
In 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. What's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of the Genius Brain Podcast. I am your host, David So, and we have a very, very special guest. We have the train track villain himself.
Train track villain?
That mustache, bro.
Stupid.
We got Ryan, dude.
Yeah, dude. Thanks for having me, man.
I'll tell you this, man. You coming into Jknews has changed so much since the last time I was a regular cast member, right? And obviously, there was a lot of drama in between everything. You know, obviously there was like a really dark time of Jknews, and then you guys came in right when everything was crumbling. Your timing couldn't have been more perfect.
I didn't even know that at all. If I had known, I wouldn't have came in. Everything looked great to me.
On the outside, this is all fucking fantastic. Yeah. Jknews has been around almost as long as I have been doing YouTube.
Jeez, yeah, it has been around forever, man.
Yeah, so when I started, I first met Bart and Joe at a San Diego Comic-Con.
Comic-Con?
No, San Diego
Fucking
Film
nerds.
Festival. Yeah. Hey, guys.
Yeah.
I met them at a San Diego Film Festival.
Okay.
And we kind of like instantly clicked because we're like the trashiest people at this event.
Yeah.
All these other YouTubers like Joseph Vincent, super handsome, very well put together.
Perfect image, great eyebrows.
Exactly. I show up in basketball shorts, slides and socks, basically how I am now. Nothing has changed.
Wow.
And we're doing these panels and then Bart and Joe, they're in these fucking dicky jumpsuits. So we all look like pieces of shit.
Blue collar workers.
Exactly. You want to hear the funniest part that I found out after? Bart told me that when he left and he went to go talk to Gio, because Gio was managing them at the time. She was like, hey, when you go to these events, you guys can't wear just basketball shorts and t-shirts. But I was there just like that because I didn't give a fuck.
Yeah.
And so they're like, well, he did it.
They pointed to you as the...
See? And so I'm like, well, you guys dress pretty casually too. They go, no, like the dicky jumpsuits was us dressing up. I was like,
wait, they thought that was like...
They thought that was dressing
business
up.
casual?
That's why we fucking connected. We were just like the biggest pieces of shit. And so like Just Kidding News became an onset of what we did at the time because we've seen us like, it's the Asian people just kicking it in a parking lot.
Exactly.
Shit.
Yeah, exactly.
So we're, I forgot, I think it was Bart or maybe it was Joe, but one of them was like, we should just record this and then see what happens. And then it just became this crazy thing. And it just blew up from there.
Who were the first people, like the very first week of you guys doing Jknews? Who was that?
So there was this guy, there was Tommy, there was this guy, Kevin. These are all people who aren't a part of JK anymore. They all moved on to bigger, better things.
Got it.
They all died.
got life rafts. Yeah, good.
They all died. No. There was Tommy, there was the two Anns. There were these sisters, Older Ann and Little Ann is what I call them.
What the?
Right, very sweet.
Yeah.
We still like chat every now and then.
Cool.
There was Tommy, there was Kevin as well, Gio, me, Bart, and Joe. I'm not sure if Tiff was in there. Oh, Casey was in there as well, right? Because I think at that time, Tiff was working as a phlebotomist in the hospital or something like that. And she wasn't a part of JK at the time.
Oh, right. She had like an actual job.
She had an actual job, but she hated that job. And then she wanted to kind of find something else. And that's when Bart and Joe were like, hey, like we'll find you some work here and we'll make it happen.
Dope.
And the rest is history after that.
Yeah.
So the JK actually started. It was so weird watching that little thing grow we didn't know what the fuck it was going to be because we all had our own personal channels.
Right.
So they had Just Kidding Films where they were doing sketches every week, and then Just Kidding News was a side piece. Well, the side piece.
Damn, that's crazy to think that's the side piece.
Yeah, it was the side piece, and then JK News blew up past all of our shit.
Yeah.
And so we did it for quite a while, and then I decided to leave because I wanted to do other things. Right, so I wanted to go try acting, and that's when I did the Sundance thing. I did the Netflix show. I did all this other stuff.
Right.
But it was such a trip, and then you guys came in during a time where I feel like, in all honesty, if we're going to just be honest, like JK News started becoming the shittiest fucking thing ever.
Right. To do or to like watch?
Not to do.
Oh.
It was the hardest thing to do because the fan base at the time, there's ones that stayed and there's a lot of new fans now.
Yeah.
But the ones that were there at the time were a bunch of bitch-made pussies.
Yeah.
Because what happened was that Bart and Joe had to create a company and hire people and keep them around, right? So it wasn't just, I want to do what I want. It's, I got to make this company as successful as possible so people can have food on their fucking table.
Yeah.
So they became bosses.
Right.
So I think for them, like their mission shifted. It's the same thing what happens with like Kevin Hart.
It's like when the same department does creative and HR, it would just make no sense.
It was so fucking hard to do. So now they're thinking like, okay, we can't say things or do some certain things because if we do this and we get canceled, we can't pay Casey, we can't pay Tiff, Tommy, these people won't have a fucking paycheck. You know what I mean? Ryan, all these other people. So they started shifting their culture towards like not saying certain things.
So that's a real thing you guys actually, because I hear little bits about that, but I didn't know that it was a thing you guys actively said, we have to be cleaner.
Yeah, and that's the hardest thing for me. I can't do it. It's fucking impossible. And you cannot tell me that I can't say something because it hurts the tip of your dick and your clit. Shut up.
Did they ever have to stop you like mid-episode?
Yeah, I was so problematic. Because I'd say, because I say whatever the fuck I want. And I would do that on my channel anyways. But then if I'm working with the company, I have to play by the rules, right?
Yeah.
And it wasn't like, oh, I hate this. It was just more like, fuck, like things have changed, right?
Yeah.
And so in order for me to say what I want and joke what I want, I had to go back to my channel. And at that time, I let my channel just go to shit.
Oh, you just like kind of left it?
Like I was still creating content, but it wasn't my main focus because I was having so much fun with my friends here.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So you're going to stick with the thing that has the most fun.
Right.
Well, because, you start kind of bending towards too much wokeisms and shit, that's the type of fan base that you create. So this new fan base that came in the middle forgot that we are garbage. Like we're garbage human beings, that we are comics and fucking assholes first.
Right. So then whenever an asshole thing slips out, they're like shocked. And they're like, how could David say that?
How could David's this and that? Bart and Joe are fucking assholes. Like they never let, and like, it's like, okay, this is a bad place for me to be because a lot of those fans that aren't around for us anymore, they started seeping over into my channel. And that's when I was like, okay, I have to make a choice here. Right? Like I want to do my own things. I have to keep this safe space for myself. Yeah. And if it's bleeding over, then I have to focus on what I'm doing because I'm too comfortable here. So,
what year was that you made that conscious decision that you couldn't connect?
I forget. I have a video where I talked about me leaving JK, and it was just simply because I wanted to do other things. And it was
I didn't even know that you had left JK.
Yeah, I was like a set cast member. The person that allowed me to leave was Steve. Because every time I would leave a hole in JK.
Yeah.
Because I'm, obviously I'm very fucking vocal.
Right. Yeah. You know what I mean? Yeah. It makes a night and day difference when you're there and not. Yeah.
So it was weird. Like I would get texts from like Tiff. There's like, hey, when are you coming back? Like we kind of need you back. And I'm like, oh, okay. Well, and it's a lot of, I wouldn't say pressure, but then I would feel terrible because I'm off doing film stuff.
So you kind of had like a soft leave, huh? Like you were
soft leave. And then, I just talked to Bart and Joe. I was like, hey guys, I think I'm going to start doing my own thing and I'm going to stop doing JK here. And at that time they already brought Steve in. So I felt comfortable leaving because Steve could do this.
Yeah. Right.
So he was the replacement for me and it worked out really well because Steve fucking kills it.
He kills it. Yeah. He's like the pro comedian in the room.
He's quick. He's quick.
Yeah. Right.
So, at the time too, like if you don't know this, like Bart and Joe mentioned this too. I think, or it was a Joe, that he didn't know what his voice was because they used to always play characters.
That makes sense.
So when you're in JK News, you're saying your opinions. You are you. You're not a character. So I think that for them in the beginning of JK was a little difficult. So they needed somebody to be there to kind of like spark off a conversation, and then they're at it.
Right.
They're good to go.
Yeah.
But at first, like Joe mentioned too, that it was a little difficult, and he said it online too, where using his own voice was very odd to hear.
I agree, because I always thought he was, anytime I'd ever talk to him was on JK or around JK. And then one day we went to get dinner and he was just like, hey, so how you doing? And I was like, who the fuck is this?
I know. Don't you mean, how you doing?
Like, why are you talking so low? Are we supposed to keep a secret?
Where the fuck is the racist accent? I'm gonna beat your ass.
Right. That is very true.
How did you get onto like JK News?
I mean, I think the first time I ever came on just as a guest was like 2013 or something, mad early. And you were there both times I came on, 2013 and 2015. And then I just remembered like the last time I went on there, I was like, damn, that was really fun. I want to come back, but I don't want to be awkward and ask to come back.
Hey, I'm here.
I'm not doing anything ever.
You just sit down awkwardly.
Yeah, I would always have fun, but then I would just wait for them to tell me, like whenever they need somebody.
Yeah.
And that would just be like years in between. I'd be like, damn, that shit's like really fun. I like building this like relationship with them and then never seeing them for years.
Yeah.
And then oddly, that one day they were just like, hey, we need someone to fill a seat. So then I went just as panel and not as guest. And then they just said they needed a host, and then I ended up doing that. It was very just like, as things became available, I just got pulled in, and it was a lot of fun. Yeah, that's it.
What was the thing that made you like JK News so much?
Because I used to watch it all the time. It was the first thing that I ever
still
watched.
watch it now.
Yeah, it's the first thing I ever watched daily. Like back when you guys started, I was like, dude, I never thought there was a thing that I would watch every morning while I got ready, and it was JK News, and I'd never seen anything like it, which is kind of, I think to me, like it's such a pioneering endeavor that to be asked to be part of it, like I always have respect for it, you know? That's why I try to not change it as much.
Yeah, I mean like JK News is such a, like even comics who would come on, they're like, dude, this is crazy. Like you guys literally say whatever.
Yeah.
You know, the liberating thing about being on social media and not having a want to go into traditional Hollywood is the fact that nobody controls you.
Yeah.
The moment you try to gear your career to going into Hollywood, which all of us did and have stepped in that realm,
Right.
is that suddenly your voice gets this small.
Yeah.
Because you can't say this, because if you do, this person won't give you a job. If you say that, you offend this person, you won't be able to do this.
Yeah.
And, you know, being a part of something like JK News, it's like, listen, you're either a part of this or go fuck yourself, right?
Yeah.
Either you love us and we love you back. And if you don't want to be a part of this, that's okay too. You're a loser. No, I'm kidding. No, but it's like, we're not for everybody, right?
Yeah.
And I think sometimes when people come on the JK News, they find that very liberating. Either they get scared shitless because they're like, oh, I don't want to put that in. Or if they come here and they're like, dude, I've been wanting to say this for the longest time. And I never had a platform where I could meet other people who maybe aren't so like-minded, but they allow me to say my thoughts.
Yeah, that's what I like about it too, is that it really is the embodiment of just homies kicking it in a parking lot talking. And then I used to be like that with Quest Crew. We had that same dynamic. So to do that there, it felt exactly the same to me. It is hard to get to find the pockets in the first time you're there. Like the first time I was there, I was like, when do I even speak? Because I don't want to interrupt you. I don't want to interrupt Joe or Bart. And then after some time, it becomes like super easy. But yeah, I just enjoyed it a lot, like watching it and being part of it.
That's the hard part, that pocket. When if anybody who ever happens to come on JK News as a guest in the future, finding your pocket in JK News is hard because you have to always be on your toes.
Yeah.
Right? Like being on your toes is like, I had my buddy Khalif came on, and I remember Khalif was on as a guest. He was on for like 20 episodes and he didn't say one word.
Let's just plead the fifth.
And they're like, dude, I've never seen a JK News episode without a guest. And Khalif was like, I can't believe I came on there.
And that's back when the audience was like ruthless too. When the comment section was toxic as hell. You know, I went to community college with Khalif.
Oh, really?
Yeah, dude.
What the fuck? Fucking small ass world, dude.
Yeah, like when I was still trying to dance, I would practice in the student center at Cypress College, and he would just be hanging out there too. And then I didn't see him again until like years and years later.
What
and he was like, yo, bro. Yeah. And I didn't know that he was buddies with you. I seen him later because I started a photo studio in downtown, and he was talent that had worked there, and he brought some like iguana or some shit.
Oh, his gecko?
His gecko, yeah.
Malcolm Gex?
Yeah, yeah. And then I ran into him, and I was like, Oh shit!
Yeah.
What the hell? We haven't seen each other since like 2003.
That's what a small fucking
Super
world,
small,
dude.
man. Yeah.
Because he still lives at the place that I used to live because we were roommates.
Oh.
Yeah. So Khalif's story was at the time for me and him was that he obviously wanted to be an actor. He's still pursuing acting now. And he was in a sketch of mine, and I found out through just having conversation with him that he was sleeping in his car because he was living out in Long Beach. And in order to get to all these auditions, it would just make more sense for him to sleep there.
Damn, yeah.
In order for him not to miss his auditions because of traffic and stuff.
Yeah.
So he just sleep in his car. I was like, bro, don't sleep in your car. Whenever you're in town, just sleep at my side. Right? So if you have like auditions in the morning the next day or meetings, just come here, park your car, crash here, and then it's all good. So after that point, we just became really close.
Dude, he's
friends.
such a fucking nice guy.
He is super nice.
Such a great dude. Yeah.
He like, I mean, you'll see some of our text messages pretty fucked up, but like, that's when you know you have a really good fucking friend. Yeah. But everybody is like somehow, because dude, the thing that blew my fucking mind on JK News is when you told me about the connection that you and Joe had.
That blew my mind because it happened in front of my fucking face, man.
Yeah, bro.
That happened in front of my face. He literally had said to me, "What do you know about that Joe Mama guy?" And I was like, I just knew he was scary. I never met the dude. And he's looking me in the face and he goes, "I'm Joe Mama." Like,
I'm so sorry.
How often does that ever happen in life when you're looking at the guy and he's like, "That was me"?
Do you have any idea how much of a menace you have to be to create a legend about
That's what
you
I'm
in a
saying.
school?
Yeah, I would see him all the time standing on the campus because he's visiting, and everybody would be like, "Oh, that's that crazy fool."
People don't know, like just in general, Joe has matured so much since even the first day I met him.
Right, yeah.
And even from when the first day I met him, people said that was actually a calmer version of him. When I first met him, I thought he was a psychopath. Like Joe. So we were at the San Diego Asian Film Festival.
Yeah.
And we're watching this Jackie Chan movie and a bunch of Chinese letters come down, right? And then out of nowhere, Joe is sitting next to me. Man, I can't read that fucking shit. Dog. And you know, the weird thing is, I don't know how to explain this. I laughed not because I looked at his face and he wasn't making a joke.
Yeah. He's not heckling.
And he's not laughing at it. He's just sitting there. He looks visibly upset. I'm like, bro, this guy is hilarious and he doesn't even know it.
Yeah.
And I'm cracking the fuck up. And this lady next to me, she goes, "Hey, can you tell your friend to shut up?" I was like, "Excuse me? That is not my friend." I was like, I denounced him immediately.
I don't know any Japs, thanks.
Yeah. Let me tell you something. I'm Korean, and I hope he dies.
Yeah.
I'm waiting for my reparations.
I also would like to kill him.
Yeah, I was a comfort woman, just to let you know.
Bro.
He took advantage of me.
You know what? I can't wrap my head around how, so with Quest Crew and how long I've known Victor and how long I lived with the guy, how the fuck did I not meet you way back then?
We always just kept missing each other.
Yeah.
So if you guys remember Victor Kim, Quest Crew, obviously, right? The hollow back, everything. That was his thing. He always, when we were kids, he would just do that for no fucking reason. Yeah. Hey, Victor, can you get that pencil off the floor? I got it. And he would just like,
you still didn't get the pencil, but thanks.
Yeah, it's been about 10 minutes. Can you just pick it up? I got it. He's bending as hard as he could.
Yeah.
But he, so my mom is super close friends with his mom.
Yeah.
So we grew up together. Occasionally, he used to go to this church called Ark Mission out in Sacramento. And my cousin went there. So I used to attend that church every now and then if I spent the night at my cousin's house.
Is that part of the Unification Church?
Yeah. Exactly.
I know
so
that one.
we would go there. And, you know, Victor and I, like, we were so fucking different, right?
Yeah.
I'm super loud, super brash, and Victor's a very sensitive fucking soul.
Soft-spoken.
Very soft-spoken. And when you have that type of like calm energy with my chaos, there's always one person that's going to get their feelings hurt, and it's not me. So I used to genuinely hurt that fool's feelings all the fucking time. But like, you know, for me as somebody, as a younger person, we're like, Korean people are so good at fucking with each other. All the time.
Yeah, right.
So I would get fucked with, I would fuck with other people.
It never ends. Yeah.
It just never ends.
Yeah.
And so I remember this is a very clear moment of mine. And I think I've told you this before, where I made fun of him because he made this YouTube video where he would turn around and he'd be like, "Hi, I didn't see you guys there." And I was like, if you didn't see us, who the fuck set up the camera, dude? I was like, that doesn't make any fuck. And I'm like roasting this fool during Thanksgiving. He gets up and he just leaves. And I was like, oh shit, I can't make fun of him like that. I didn't know. But everybody's laughing and he's not laughing. So I felt super fucking bad. And I never did it again.
Yeah. He was really sensitive about his craft and stuff. Especially at that point when he started to sing more. Oh. He was very sensitive about that shit. Like we learned too not to do that.
Yeah. And listen, I love the guy. Wasn't the best singer though. Yeah, man. I had to listen to that shit. You had a little snippet of it for like a couple of years. Imagine that since like church times. He was like a praise leader. It's like, man, motherfucker, I don't think God is feeling praise right now. You
really didn't like his singing?
No, I didn't. His motherfucker was fucking off key as a motherfucker, dude. I was like, God damn, dog. Fuck, bro. God's angry right now. You going to hell.
Damn, man.
So you can imagine what it's like growing up with somebody like me and you're that fucking sensitive.
Yeah. That's rough.
People would get, like on church shit, you would get ripped apart. Dude, you would I remember this guy gave me a purple nurple so bad it bruised my whole chest.
Oh God.
He literally
in church.
And in church. Praise the Lord. He had his knee on my stomach and this fool twisted my titty so hard my whole chest was bruised the next day. The whole fucking thing. And this guy, I think you have
to get augmentation surgery to fix it.
That's why nobody has seen me without a shirt. Yeah. My nipples are huge.
You should go to Botched and be like, hey, somebody fuck this up, man. Fix it.
I could imagine myself just telling this sad story. So I was a little boy at church and he twisted so hard. Yeah. It's like, this is a weird story.
And just the counselors want to laugh and shit.
They're like, this guy just like this.
Yes, okay.
Yeah, but we used to get punked at church so much. And he was also a part of that too.
Yeah.
His older brother too. His older brother used to punk me. His older brother, one time, I went over to his house. By the way, dopest dude ever. Like shout outs to like is so dope. He used to fix our computers. He was super good with that shit. So I brought over a laptop of mine for him to help fix.
Yeah.
But at the time, he was so like trying to get into the military. Everything he did was military shit. So I come into the house. True story. Dark as shit. I don't know what the fuck. I was like, hello? Don't know what's going on. Somebody tackles me. I'm screaming, right? I get hogtied with zip ties like this and grabs my laptop. I'm fucking crying. I'm young at this time. I don't know what the fuck is happening, right? I'm like, what the fuck? And then next thing you know, lights comes on. He comes out. He unties me. He goes, I fixed your computer. You're good to go. He was different. You know what I'm saying?
That's kind of cuckoo actions, bro.
Dog, bro, I had some funny stories about him. I won't tell all of them because obviously I don't know if he's that comfortable. I won't tell those stories, but that's like Korean hazing type of shit. It was intense.
Oh.
But he was always sweet and kind to me though. Like he was really cool. I mean, he fixed my fucking computer, right?
I just can't imagine, like, what if you went to Geek Squad? They did the same shit. Hello?
Maybe I should talk to my therapist about this.
No, that's how everyone fixes computers.
So you guys don't get your computers. When I go to Geek Squad, I lay on the floor on my stomach.
Yeah.
Ready?
You guys don't get hogtied when your hard drive doesn't detect?
You said you were a Seventh-day Adventist like Joe was, right?
Bro, yes.
What
SDA.
I actually don't know any person besides you and Joe that was a Seventh-day Adventist.
Really? You never met any others?
No.
There's so many Asian SDA people.
I don't know. So what was that like?
Bro, what's funny is a lot of people will tell that story like it's something super crazy. It's just kind of inconvenient being SDA, but it's not that bad. Like the big difference is that you can't do anything on Saturdays. So like
can't work.
For instance, I didn't know there was an X-Men cartoon on Saturday mornings because I just never saw it. So when kids would go, oh yeah, X-Men cartoon, I go, you guys are lying. There's no X-Men cartoon.
So you're telling me there's these things that move on a screen that aren't people.
I didn't know cartoons at all.
Yeah. What? Lies.
It's just like, I think maybe like if you were an SDA in the olden days, it's way more crazier. But in modern times, it's just inconvenient. Like, the Saturday thing. Also, one of the roughest things is how they kind of, not every sect will preach this, but there's a kind of an unspoken hatred for other religions.
Wheels?
Yeah, just because it's like, oh, they're all going to hell kind of deal.
That's how fucked up.
Because like anything to justify that you're the correct one, right?
Hi, brother in Christ. Have a good morning. In hell.
That's our standard greeting. Yeah.
You guys are just roasting them.
It's like when you read fortune cookies, you add the thing at the end.
Why are you doing good things anyways? You're going to hell.
It is that. It's like really, really odd. Yeah. And it's a tiny community and everything. It's different.
Wait, what's the reason why you guys can't do anything on Saturdays?
Because Saturday is like the holy day of worship, and anything you do on Saturdays has to be God-based. So the funny thing is there's little loopholes. Like you'll just get Bible-based board games. Like every board game you can think of has a Christian version of it. So you just break those out on Saturday. And you're like, oh, we're playing Bible Mousetrap. Holy shit. Why is there a Bible Mousetrap?
You could only bake a cake in the shape of a cross.
Yeah. You got to make it Jesus' head. That takes way longer.
Hey, kids, we're only having bread and fish today. And then somehow I got to multiply it for everybody.
Yeah.
This is going to be hard.
Yeah.
Kids only drink wine.
You only have 2 barley loaves.
Yeah. But watch, I'm Jesus Christ.
We don't even eat those. We are this week.
Only Ezekiel bread, the worst bread
Ezekiel
ever.
Bread. Yeah, it's crazy. And plus, like, a lot of SDA people are vegetarian. So you're not going to like that part.
That's super hard for me, man. Like, I could do pescatarian.
Yeah.
I don't know if like vegetarian, vegan is fucking hard, man.
It is hard, yeah.
It's just because like I just want to try different things.
Right.
And I can't be in the same shit over and over and over again. I even get tired with that with like meat. I can't eat meat over and over and over again. I get fucking exhausted. I want to eat other shit.
Yeah.
I don't know how people do that, dude.
I don't either. The biggest thing probably for me personally with SDA religion was the fact that some of the laws are so old. Like the dancing law. Like you can't dance was the weirdest thing to me.
But they danced in the Bible.
I guess so, but like they don't allow it in the culture of like today. They're like, oh, no dancing. So like if you go to like you have prom. Yeah. So our high school had banquet where it was like a danceless prom. And if you're like having worship service and there's guitar and there's like there's a rhythm, you can't like move to the rhythm. You have to like suppress that and just like.
But they literally that's like, I mean, I don't know. That's biblically incorrect.
There's biblical proof that David danced.
Exactly.
Like everything. Yeah.
It's like biblically incorrect.
I think it's the fact that it's not dancing for the Lord. Like it has to be for the Lord. So if I wanted to go and like train dancing for myself, then that's like a secular act. So that it's like
religious, like absolutism. Like, listen, I commend people for that because that's actually very hard to live that way.
Yeah,
to follow everything. But oh, motherfucker, if I catch you eating a shrimp, I'm beating that ass. Then,
right?
If I couldn't dance and I see you eat that shrimp cocktail, ooh, dog.
That too. I didn't even have a shrimp until I was like 22 or some shit.
Holy shit!
I didn't even have a lobster until I was in my mid-20s.
You didn't have pork either then?
You can't have pork either. You can't have shellfish. Yeah, bottom feeding animals. Cloven hooves.
Oh my God, no catfish.
No cat. I still haven't had catfish.
You don't need to.
I'm not missing it. Okay, good. I'm going to heaven.
Yes, okay. It's not worth going to hell for catfish.
That's all you do. You get to heaven's gates and go, did you ever have catfish? Nah. Man. Get in here.
You good,
man. Get in here.
Hey, shrimp, I understand. That's kind of hard. I created that really delicious.
That's on me. I put too much umami in those things. It's my bad.
Jesus all chill as fuck. Yeah. God's like, hey, I did that though. I did that. That's me. Thank me.
Yeah, that was the hardest part, was just the dance side of it, which didn't make sense to me. And then,
there was a religion too that there was a girl in high school that she was a part of. I think it was called Iglesia. And
Julio?
She also couldn't dance. So during our prom, she would just like not dance. And I didn't know what it was about. So she wasn't allowed to dance. So she just dressed up and she just partook in like prom. Their prom allowed that.
The religion was called Iglesia?
Yeah. It's like a lot of Filipinos are a part of it actually.
Because I don't know if it's related, but there are Seventh-day Adventist churches that are called Iglesia something.
Or maybe it was Seventh-day Adventist.
It could have been just a Spanish Seventh-day Adventist church.
It probably was that.
Yeah.
So because I dated a girl who was also a part of that, and she would told me like I couldn't dance with anybody. They have like these very strict rules with like elders in the church. Yeah. Like who gives more money has more power in the church.
The tithe is really serious.
Oh, so maybe that was Seventh-day Adventist.
Yeah, the tithing, it'll be like a direct deposit. Like it'll be taken out of your check before you get your check. So like you'll sign up for tithing to your church. They will take 10% of your paycheck. And then when you see your balance, it's like already missing.
You know what? That's dedication, but let me tell you, tithing be hella hard for me, dude. Because I be going to church and I be tithing that solid $2. I tithe $1 every week when I was a kid, and as a full grown adult, $2, baby. Let's
Yeah.
go.
Well, I mean, that would be a lot if if there was never inflation from the Bible times.
I was like, well, like I guess I'm giving less than I did when I was a kid.
Yeah. Right.
Because of inflation. It's like, David, you're actually only giving us a penny. I'm like, oh, mama.
You're incrementally donating less and less.
Yeah. I haven't really found a church that I've been hyper dedicated to, so it's hard to tithe to a church that I really back right now.
Was your denomination growing up just straight Christian?
It was Presbyterian.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
And then my father, when he started his own church and I wanted to get into ministry, it was non-denominational.
Oh, wow.
So for those of you who aren't religious, like different denominations have a different way that churches ran, right? So there's Baptist, there's Presbyterian. Some people have a system of elders. Some people don't. Non-denomination is just whatever the people decide.
Yeah, it's like freestyle worship.
Exactly. So they just get into a fucking thing and they go, hey,
put a beat on.
I think you going to hell. Brimstone. They just do terrible spoken word against each other.
Yeah, growing up in religion's rough, man. I give it up for people that stick with it,
So when did you you stop going to the church, obviously, right? Because you be eating shrimp and shit going to hell.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like the biggest thing where I had to really turn my back on it was just wanting to be a dancer, as odd and dumb as that sounds.
That's right.
Like, that sounds so stupid, but it's true. It's like I had to keep it a secret that I was training in dance. And I got written up in school. Like, I got a pink slip for dancing in the gym, which was really just me practicing windmills. It wasn't like I was gyrating or like twerking,
I'm cleaning the floor, guys.
Yeah. And then I got a pink slip sent home, and my parents were like, what are you doing? Like, you're getting in trouble for what exactly? And then they were like, no more of that. And so I had to keep it a secret. And then Secret was out when I tried out for So You Think You Can Dance 2005. And then I was on TV.
Hold on a second.
Yeah.
The Secret, when you went to So You Think You Can Dance?
That's pretty much when they were like, oh, you were really taking that seriously. Because they would they would see like little tidbits of me. Like, I can't hide it all the time. But then that was when they were
It's
like,
impossible.
yeah.
Why is he grabbing the fork
Pass
like
the
that?
potatoes. What was that? Yeah. It was like that was when it was like the family, like nothing's that big of a deal until your whole family knows, and then that's where they have to bear the shame to the family of like, oh, he really
My
went
son
for it.
dances.
Yeah, my son is gay. No.
Why do you care that I dance so much? I don't care. You are gay.
Dad, I'm not gay. I'm just a dancer. He's like, you can't be one or the other.
Impossible. Hey, putang ina gay.
Well, I guess that's the first of that kind. Maybe it is, Dad.
And you start moonwalking out.
Right. It was really that comical. Like, it's so like melodramatic, but like it's such a stupid thing to have to like be having turmoil over,
What was the conversation when your parents found out that you were on like So You Think You Could Dance and you're
Oh, bro.
you were fucking excelling at it, by the way.
It's funny because they were like, one of the things was like they had seen the episode come out where I kind of talk about my home story. So I talk about like how I was raised and everything. And I mentioned the stuff about religion and my parents. They were more mad about that than anything else. They were just like, hey, don't say that stuff anymore.
You can be gay.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't care. You want to suck? You want to fuck? Whatever. Just don't tell people we're bad parents. Yeah.
Hey, what the fuck? That's all you got.
Yeah, that's it. They were just mad about that, just the interview parts. They were just like, whatever. Because I think by then they knew that the form of dancing that I wanted to do didn't directly correlate with the kind in the Bible.
Yeah.
Because in the Bible and kind of like an SD belief, it's that dancing leads to sexual degeneracy. And they were like, oh, you're not getting laid with any of those moves. Nice try.
What if before I did it with I said, Jesus Christ?
That's that dude's workaround. That's that fool. Yeah.
It's like, you want to say Jesus Christ. Yo, he's actually an OG. So before he went to prison, like the dance community in Sacramento knew who he was. Like he's the Jesus Christ guy.
Oh, that guy?
He's like legit.
Really?
He was like legit.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. So
he's a Sacramento dude?
I heard about him in Sacramento years ago. I'm not sure if he's like from Sacramento, but people knew of him in the scene.
Oh, wow.
So when he popped up, like I didn't realize this until, my buddy Vince was like, do you remember this guy? I was like, I don't.
Oh,
and
Vince Sanity knew him? Oh, wow.
So he jogged my memory. I'm like, oh, that's right. He's like an OG.
Wow.
And so after he went to prison, I don't know what, but he just came out just Pop it for Christ.
Yeah, Jesus Christ. Yeah, I mean that's great, man. If that'll help your life, that's dope.
What year did you go into So You Think You Could Dance?
2005. That was like the year. Yeah,
Shit, that's the day you broke your parents' heart, dude.
Yeah, yeah. And they were like, "We've lost him forever to the LGBTs."
The QIA plus.
Right. Yeah, that was that year. And then after that, I just started teaching, and that was kind of my career was just dance based for all the years after that.
What was the conversation that you had with them after you got done with it and you came back home?
I almost kind of never had a straight up conversation with them because like my shit's. I mean, I'm so like Asian that the disconnect between parent and kid. Like I don't have conversations like that with them. Just like little nonverbal acknowledgments. Like. My parents, they came to like one of the tapings, and that's kind of how I knew that it was like, okay, we're cool. They're not totally, And then by the time we did Best Dance Crew with like Victor and Quest and everybody, they were pretty supportive and they came to those too.
Wow.
Yeah, but that's like fucking 4 or 5 years later. So
I bet you what it was though. It's like at first it's shame, and they find out that it's pretty cool, and then people are super supportive of it, and they're like, "I told you he's very good."
Yeah,
that's my boy.
It makes a big difference too. Like once a Filipino publication picks it up, then it's like
Mixed TV got it.
Yeah. Mixed TV. Yeah. Once we were on like ASAP in the Philippines, and just like when I went to the Philippines and did stuff there, then it was like, okay, now it's fine. Because they're gonna take the stance of like, yeah, I taught him everything.
Yeah, of course. That was like my dad too.
I told him follow your dream.
Years ago, he had underground dancing moves. I told him do that.
He tried to be a nurse. I said, fuck no.
You're just sitting in the back like, what the fuck?
And of course I just go with it because I'm like, anything to just be peaceful with my parents.
Whatever, have it. If that makes you happy, whatever. As long as I get to fucking dance. I don't give a fuck.
Yeah, but it was a little bit weird because in between So You Think You Could Dance and ABDC, I actually went back to school because my mom was always asking like, hey, you ever going to get your college diploma or whatever? And then I applied to UCI, and that's how I ended up living with Victor, because I ended up going to UC Irvine after So You Think. And that was weird because people were like, what are you doing here, dude?
Yeah.
Yeah, but I was like, I just want to kind of finish my schooling up. And then a quarter or like one semester before I was going to graduate, then America's Best Dance Crew happened. So I had to leave my transcript frozen anyway. So I never graduated UCI.
I never graduated from college either.
Really?
I had a semester or a quarter left.
Oh yeah.
And I just left. I just said I don't need this shit
for comedy.
I went to a comedy college.
Yeah, comedy college.
Dog. I fucking so I was in UCR. Got into trouble over there. I left. Came to figure out my life,
that's right. Yeah, UCR, yeah.
And then I went back to Sacramento Community College, and then I switched over to Sac State.
Mm.
And then I had a little bit left before I was going to graduate, and I literally walked it. I had a test. I forgot what it was for. It was like a blue book test. I just drew a big old smiley face in it, closed it, left, and I dropped out.
What the heck?
And I just dropped out, and I said, I can't do this anymore. I pursued comedy full time. Then my fucking YouTube shit blew up, and then I was like, I'm going to move. I'm going to sell everything. I don't need anything else. I came straight to LA, just started doing stand-up.
Damn, dude. I just imagine, I wished it was like you were in college and your teachers were just like, you're too funny, David. You got to get out of here. You got to get the fuck out of here, man.
Hey, man, you're dumb as shit. This is not for you.
Yeah.
The blue book, it's upside down.
You've been misspelling your name the entire time here.
Also, this is the wrong class. Also, this is a Sac State. I'm like, where am I?
This is DeVry.
Yeah, this is DeVry University. You're not even enrolled in here.
Yeah. You're like, I think I should do comedy.
Where am I?
That's dope though that you actually got that far, and then,
Yeah, man, I just didn't. You know what it was? It's just that whole thing of battling your parents the whole time.
Yeah.
Like I only stayed in college to do everything that my parents wanted.
Right.
Because my mom was like, honestly, my saving grace. She was like, just do this for your dad. Get this fucking degree.
Right.
Do whatever you want after. But it was so hard for me because I didn't care.
Yeah, but that's the heartstring, man. Do it for your dad.
Yeah.
That's the heartstring. Like,
so I kept doing it. And then when I dropped out, dude, that was a disaster. Like me and my dad's relationship was fucking terrible for years. It just wouldn't fit. And then things came to a head. It exploded. And then we finally figured it out. But then my mom was always the one that was just like supporting me on the low.
Yeah.
She, you could do whatever you want. Like you just need to do this
That's
for your
tight
dad.
on the low.
Because if it wasn't for her, I think I would have lost my fucking mind. Like I don't think I
Yeah.
would have ever talked to my parents ever again. Like me and my dad would have never had our bond if it wasn't for my mom. Because she was the one that was supporting me. So it's like it was just so fucking difficult. Like I mean, even for you, like you already technically had your foot in the door and you still completed that almost completed that shit, which was crazy to me. You know what I mean? Well, the moment that little success happened, I was like, I'm out.
Dude.
You know?
Yeah, it sucked too because I got into UCI on a full ride. So I wasn't paying for anything. So it was even more heartbreaking for my parents that I quit when I had such a good opportunity. It's like I blew it. You know what I mean? They're like, how many people get that chance? And then, you know, I just left. Yeah.
What was the whole like, so you think you can dance experience? Like, was it?
You know what? It's so crazy because that was back when reality TV was like the shit. You know what I mean?
I love that show. I love So You Think You Could Dance. I loved America's Best Dance Crew.
It was different back then. Like there was no way to, you know what's interesting? There was no way to quantify how like known you got. Cause it's not like we had social media numbers. So like you would just do the TV show and you'd walk outside and some people would recognize you, some people wouldn't, but you had no idea where that was.
Yeah.
And I think just like having people know who I was for the first time in my life was just like, it was a crazy identity crisis. It was like, here you got a bunch of people that like you and think they know you and it's really fun and it's cool. But like also, it always bugged me that it was just over dance, which is kind of weird. That's the reason why I told Bart and Joe this when they first asked me to like be on JK, kind of like for the long run. I was like, honestly, like for the first time ever, I like that I can actually talk.
Oh,
because so much of everything I did was just movement based or action based or image. And then like no one ever gave a shit about what I thought about anything, you know?
That's so fucking interesting, dude. Cause I feel like one of the hardest things, because dancing kind of technically like, well, it's like a sport, right?
Yeah.
It's people who are in sports have a very hard time dealing with the fact that their body one day will break down.
Oh yeah, it's rough.
And a lot of dancers that I know have an identity crisis once they start losing that ability. And they don't know what to do anymore because this is everything to them, right? They identify as a person who can dance. Once that gets taken away from you, and it'll happen. There are a few anomalies out there that dance like just as well as they did when they were in their 50 and then like it's rare.
Better than ever somehow.
Exactly. I don't fucking get it, but it happens, right? So for you to kind of understand that and then understand, oh, I got more shit than just the dance part is something that I don't get to see a lot because I have a lot of friends who are in dance and I see like they're a shell of themselves now because they always talk about, oh, when I used to be able to do this, when I used to be
it's all glory day based conversation. Yeah.
It's like, bro, you're 400 pounds now, dude. I don't know what to fucking tell you.
Oh, just wait till my comeback, bro.
just wait. Why don't you fucking get out of the fucking McDonald's first and then we'll talk, you fat fuck.
Put down the fish fillet.
Like, hey, back in my day, I used to, come on, bro.
Right.
Like I used to be super fat. I know what that's like. You ain't doing shit.
Yeah. That's the crazy thing about it is like we for so long we had just worked gig to gig and just everything was dance based and my interests were very music based and writing. I went to university for journalism. Like that's my favorite thing. And I never really got a professional opportunity to do anything that wasn't dance based. So I always felt like I mistook my worth for being like in that department of like, oh, if I'm not doing that, then what am I offering? So it was cool the first time I ever went on JK and you were there and I was like, dude, that's dope. I didn't even have to, nobody was like, hey, do a move. You know what I mean? Like it was just so nice and chill. And cool.
How annoying is that shit, right? Like you're just trying to chill. You're right. And they're like, dude, can you land on your Achilles tendon again?
Can you tear your ACL real quick?
Hey, I know that your meniscus is gone. Do that thing again for me. It's like, bro.
It's like a thing where if you get mad at that, then I think it's also unfair because that's what it is, It is what it is. But
I used to hate when, they would like find out you're a stand-up comic.
Oh God,
and like, hey, can you make me laugh? And I'm like, I can't because you're already a joke. Get the fuck out of my face.
Yeah.
Like, oh, he's kind of mean. And I'm like, dog,
bro,
if I would tell you to do your job in front of me right now, how would you feel?
That's like the main response is that like dancers will always say like, what do you do for work? And they're like, oh, I'm a plumber. Can you just go unclog my toilet right now, you know, but it is, I get it. Cause like, it's hard because we would always go to red carpet things for like MTV events or like really prestigious things. And as soon as, if you're a dancer, and there were very few dance celebrities in that era, as soon as you're on the red carpet, what do they all say? Do a move, do a thing. Like, and
land on your spine again.
Yeah. And they won't take your picture until you do a thing. And it's like, it makes you feel like a monkey doing tricks, you know? Which it's like, I get it, but also at the same time, it's rough. You know?
You just say that it's not like we're not appreciative of like the opportunities that we have, but sometimes it's hard to just like, you know, can we just talk for a second?
Yeah.
And then maybe if I want to, I'll do it because, you know, we can't always have our job coat on all the time.
Yeah. Can I say something that's kind of fucked up?
Oh, please.
I've always felt a little bit like dissed by the Asian gala community because anytime we were invited to Asian excellence events, we were always performing.
Oh, can I say something? They're all fucking trash anyways.
Thank you.
Right? Look at I
wanted to connect with you on that because I feel like you have the same like sentiment.
Let me tell you something, dude. I've been invited to those things multiple times and I've said no every fucking time.
Wow.
I haven't been invited now for like a few years, right? Because obviously I'm pretty actually vocal about how dumb I think they are.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying about the people who do it or whatever, but these events are so fucking snobby and literally a dick-sucking event for people who said that, okay, we started this so we could have our space and we want to be inclusive, right? The problem that I have with these events too, they're doing the exact same thing that they said that they hated Hollywood for. You create this event to show people that you are better than somebody else. When the reason why you said you created these events is to celebrate and kind of bring everybody in, but you're not.
Yeah.
You're only bringing people in that make your quote unquote community look great.
Right.
There are people in this community that it's really about Asian excellence, if that's what you're about, that are outside of entertainment that you should be celebrating.
Yeah. Yeah.
And look, I'm also in the acting field, right? But let's be real. We play pretend for a fucking living. What the fuck do we do? Are we saving lives? You know what I'm saying? Are we really like huge act? What the fuck are we? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
We play pretend and we do it really well and it's good. So if you're doing these events to talk about Asian excellence, there are so many people out there that should be celebrated. And I will say this too, like a lot of people may not like somebody like China Mac, but when people were being burned out in these in these streets, China Mac was out there protesting.
He was doing something.
He was doing something.
Yeah.
He has never been invited to that event. Why? Because he doesn't fit this perfect box of what Asian excellence is. So I think that those fucking events are fucking stupid. You guys are bullshit. Absolute bullshit. If I ever get invited, I will show up and I am going to embarrass the fuck out of all of you.
Oh my God, that would be so great.
Here's the thing too, and I've talked about this. This was at the time this event was called the Koream Gala, right? And I was I was invited to present an award to Psy, right? Clearly because I looked like him. I get it. Fine. You guys got me. Right. And I remember there was like, I'm not going to say these names, obviously, but just watching people come up to me and say all this dope stuff. And they know that I'm very opinionated and they're like talking shit about somebody else to me as if I give a fuck. I think it's really weird in the first place. I don't even know you. And I see them walk over to that person, bro, I fucking appreciate you. I see what you're doing out here. What the fuck did you just say to me? And I'm going to just watch this. I'm like, oh, you guys are all garbage.
Yeah.
You're all garbage human beings. And then I would see this shit where there was this girl that was behind me. You know, she's a pretty prominent actress. And she's talking about how she can't wait to find the right one to give her virginity to. And I just wanted to turn around and be like, you sucked one of my friends off in the back of his car. You guys were smashing for months. What? And she openly, voluntarily told this person, nobody asked her. She was talking about her love for Christ and how, you know what, like she can't wait to like give her virginity to the person that she loves. Nobody asked her at the table.
Why the fuck
and people are entertaining her. And then afterwards, I'm like, what world do I live in?
It's just image building, like constant.
Bro, I was gathering material all day, just eating my Laurie's prime ribs. What else is my motherfucker gonna say?
Just soaking it all up.
So fucking
dumb, dude.
It was actually a little bit of like my reason of hating Hollywood. It's like even when people say that they're trying to do better, it's all lip service, right? I'm not saying that there aren't great people that I know that are actors and actresses. They are there.
Yeah.
But I guarantee you they're not partaking in that bullshit.
Nah, yeah.
You know?
I always thought it was so weird because at least in my experience as a gig worker, like when we were Quest Crew taking all the gigs that we possibly could, we got paid full rate from like white companies, black companies. Whenever it was an Asian client in any capacity, it was always do it for the culture, do it for free, do it for a reduced amount. Hey, let's help each other. We'll trade opportunities. There was always some kind of snag, and it was never just pay the price. It was always something else.
But people don't ever want to talk about this
Yeah,
stuff,
they don't.
right?
I've never heard anyone openly say that, and I thought it was really fucked up.
They think like, and also too, like I'm always super against this type of shit. This is why when people tell me I have to like something because it's Asian, I hate that shit. I fucking hate it, dude. And if I openly love something, I'll support the fucking shit out of it. People have seen me give so much praise to all these great Asian films, and then Shang-Chi comes around, and I give it an open and honest review.
Yeah, right.
Just
and you watch it a shitload more than people that like it.
Exactly. Right. Yeah. And I'm breaking it down. I don't remember shit about that film anymore. But at the time, like I was like shocked at how bad it was. You know, how fucking terrible it was. Yeah. And so, and I explained myself pretty fucking well. Me and my buddy Ed, right? And he's a film buff.
Yeah.
And I was suddenly this like, I can't believe you're shitting on Asian culture. I'm like, I don't remember the last time. I didn't know that I was living in a fucking iron castle in the sky doing kung fu. This is not my culture. It's a fucking movie, and a bad one at that. You know? My culture? What the fuck are you talking about, dude?
Yeah. Isn't that what all Sacramento Koreans do?
Yeah, I had no idea.
Yeah.
And then what happened? Everything, Everywhere, All at Once came out.
Yeah.
Glowing review.
Thank you for that movie, by the way.
Exactly.
Yes.
And by the way, I did my part. I didn't trash fucking Crazy Rich Asians. I didn't trash it, and I wanted to so bad.
Oh, you did?
I wanted to. I didn't.
What did you not like about it?
It was garbage. It was some of the worst writing, the tackiest fucking jokes. It was just absolutely terrible. It was these one pun lines that didn't fucking make sense. These weird fucking caricatures. I don't know who the fuck it was trying to represent. Like, what the fuck was it? The acting was terrible because the writing was terrible. So it wasn't even the actor's fault.
And you never did a video reviewing it or anything?
No, I decided to keep that one quiet because it was the first of its kind. But after a few months passed, I'm like, we've had enough. Now I get to say my shit.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, just give it some time. Wait till like it accumulates. You're like,
yeah, because
right.
now we have a lot of opportunities.
Yeah.
People are seeing a lot of film. Like, first of all, there has been a lot of great Asian films that isn't Asian American necessarily, right? You got to talk about somebody like Wong Kar-wai, one of the greatest cinematographers of our times. Like, are you fucking nuts? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, Korean cinema has been around for a very fucking long time. So I've seen a lot of great people that look just like me do great fucking things.
Right.
So just because you didn't necessarily see it doesn't mean it never existed. You're only talking about this because you never saw it.
And it's also tough too when you think about Asian American life and how few movies there are that actually correlate directly to that specific guy. Yeah. Like, to me, when I was a teenager, probably the closest movie to, and this is incorrect, obviously, but I felt more closely connected to fucking Fast and Furious than I did like another, like Joy Luck Club or something. You know what I mean? Because to me, it's like that import scene to me was the Asian community when I was a teenager.
Yeah.
Like,
that's why fucking, what's it called? The one, I wonder if you know Tokyo. That one was the most low.
Teriyaki Boys.
Exactly. Oh, God. That was the most low budget one that actually saved the franchise.
Yeah.
Because it related to like the Asian Americans at the time. It was the fucking import model girls.
Yeah.
All of the fucking, the Supras, the GTRs.
Right.
All these cars that we fucking loved. And that's what we really related to.
And I understand if like, I don't know, some Asian film buff person who was never part of that community looks at it and goes, that's all superficial bullshit. And it's like, yeah, but it meant a lot to us, as odd as that sounds.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
So like I said, even with something like Shang-Chi, right?
No.
I never told anybody you can't like it. I'm just telling you how I feel about it, right? And so people say, well, I liked it. I'm like, that's great.
That's a good thing. Yeah.
Yeah. What the fuck? Like, I'm not trying to take your
It's not a debate.
Yeah, right? Exactly. It's not a debate. There's no moral stance on this.
Right.
It's a movie review.
It's a movie review. Yeah.
That's all that it fucking is, dude. Shout out to fucking Seaman Lou, man. My guy, bro.
Do you always say his name wrong?
What do you mean? I just do it just because people have egged me on so much. It just makes me laugh so hard. And one day I just want somebody to come up to him and just say it just because it's so funny to me. It makes me laugh. I know I can be an asshole sometimes.
I mean, that's great. I think it's so funny, that whole running thing. Even when you came on JK and you talked about it.
People think like I hate this guy. I don't hate him. I just think that he does really dumb things.
Yeah.
It's for somebody that's, if you could just do your work and let your work show for itself. Because right now you're just known as the guy that complains. And look, we all say weird things and I get it. He has his great moments, right? But the idea that you're an actor and you're not known for your acting is weird to me.
You know what? That's a really good point.
Because nobody has ever said, dude, Simu's acting is amazing.
Even you saying that, just even though you're not making a joke, it just sounds funny to me.
And people don't understand, like, I'm hyper supportive of so many Asian people, right? But when they do dumb shit like he has done, right?
Yeah.
Like trying to make these issues about him rather than the actual culture. I don't like people who take a hot topic and make an actual problem that we're trying to solve about them so they could boost their platform.
Does the Asian community have a Denzel where it's like his acting is just the forefront of why people love him?
People don't give this man a lot of credit, but he's actually, he's not even Asian American. I think he's from Benedict Wong.
Benedict Wong.
He's actually one of my favorites. He's so fucking good. People don't ever give him credit. I love that guy. He's like one of the biggest reasons why I still want to act, right? Is because of somebody like him. People need to give that man his due justice. If you see him in any of his short films, he's actually a theatrical actor. His theater, he's amazing. Right. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know who that is, but I have my personal favorite like Asian actors, and they're all Korean. This guy, Chae-min-sik, he did Old Boy.
Oh, okay.
So he's my favorite. Like when I see him act, it makes me want to work hard to be at his caliber. So I do have my own personal heroes, right? And one of the best things that my buddy Justin Chan, shout out to Justin, has told me, he goes like, look, if you or anybody else thinks that you're a great actor, here's what you should say to yourself. If you stood next, or if you were in an acting scene next to your favorite actor on earth, the best, like you look up to this person, do you think that you could stand with that person line for line? If the answer is no, then go get to work. All right. I'm like, oh shit.
Wow.
That's real.
Yeah.
Like I've never said I'm a good actor because I don't think I could. I think that I've been very blessed to have these roles that kind of suit my personality. Like if I had to play like a cop that had saved somebody's life, you bet I can't do that.
That's hard. Yeah.
Freeze.
That's like when Tim was saying that he was up for that role in that Thai movie about saving the kids from the thing.
Yeah.
And then he tried to do that. He had to be like a Southern Thai.
Yeah.
It's like, that's too many layers, man. That's so hard.
Sawadee cop, y'all. Sawadee.
It's hard when people like are so used to seeing your face and then like connecting that with laughter. Like, oh, I'm gonna laugh when I see this guy talk.
That's why it was really hard with Gook. Like when we made this film.
That's why it was also fucking dope.
People couldn't wrap their head around it at first.
I shit myself when I saw that because like I was like, I'd never seen you do that.
Yeah, it was my first time being able to like, I actually like dramatic acting way more than I like comedic acting. 1,000%. For the rest of my life, if I was in acting roles, I would not do comedy. I would just do dramatic acting.
Yeah.
It's just, it requires a lot out of you. And like the end result is very impactful. Not to say I don't like comedy. Like I fucking love it.
Yeah.
But comedy's in my wheel bag. So if I could do dramatic acting, I would do that for the rest of my life. I'm like agentless right now.
You have no agent right now?
No agent.
Damn.
Yeah, I'm taking a hiatus, and I don't know if I ever want to go back to it.
What the fuck? Are you serious?
Yeah, like I'm not sure if I want to because I really like my freedom.
Wow, dude.
I don't like somebody dictating how I should behave, act, and feel when it's not honest. Like being like a Z-list celebrity is the ultimate freedom.
That's great, huh?
It's the best.
Z-list?
People don't.
I wouldn't say you're Z-list though.
Nah, hey, I like it though. Yeah, like Z-list celebrity is fucking fantastic.
You're trying to maintain the Z, a clean Z, no matter what.
I don't want to go any higher than a Z-list celebrity, right? Because I get to maintain my lifestyle. I have a great relationship with my fan base, and I get to create things, and I'm allowed to make mistakes and not be fucking sacrificed, right? And people have seen me on this podcast apologize, like, hey, I said this fucking wild shit the last time. Hey, I apologize, and I'm allowed to do that.
Yeah, that's true.
You know what I mean? Like people feel like the word sorry doesn't exist anymore.
Yeah, it almost like got removed from Webster's.
Yeah, it's like, I wish I could go through your text messages and see your fucked up shit.
Everybody's got fucked up shit, man.
Because we're normal.
Yeah.
We're not going to say perfect things. So I was like, if anybody does that, I'm like, show me your phone. I want to see your crazy shit.
Dude, imagine that.
Dude, you wouldn't be able to survive.
That would be the great evening of society.
I know.
Yeah, that'd be crazy.
We saw so much of that shit. And that version of that was online when people were trying to crucify each other was going through people's Twitter.
Oh God, yeah. Twitter, the great Twitter scrub. Each person was just like frantically trying to delete everything.
2 of the scariest words. This you? ? Boom. And it was great. It was great. It's great. Have you ever had a Dweems?
Yeah. It was a different time.
Yeah. You stupid bitch. Turns out that you're human just like me.
Did you guys ever have to do that with JK? Like, because you guys did so many freaking episodes and it was so free. I guess like you guys said whatever the fuck you wanted for so long.
JK News was hard because sometimes the comments were really fucking harsh. And
dude, yeah. That era, when I first would come on as a guest, the comments were crazy.
Dude.
Over nothing. Like nothing at all. Everyone would just hate everything.
One of the funniest things. Let me tell you one of the comments that cracked me up that I still remember. So back in the day, Tommy, if you guys used to watch JK News from the onset of it, there was a guy named Tommy. He was a videographer, very fucking talented, right? Tommy Trin. Tommy would always start these stories that would go fucking nowhere.
Okay.
Like he would start and like it's something that Nick used to do back in the day. I used to roast him all the time. And that fool, like he doesn't do it anymore, but they would start a story and we're like, where the fuck is this going? Like half the time when he would talk, I wanted to open up Google Maps and just give it to him. It's like, tell me where this is going. What? You know? And so what we would do is that we would cut him off and then, finish it off so like we could complete his story so he doesn't look like a fucking idiot.
Right. You would just edit his whole thing.
So these comments would come in and they would be like, dude, you guys always cut off Tommy. Like this, it's so disrespectful. And they would get on Joe specifically about it. But Joe was trying to protect Tommy.
Yeah.
And they were like, and one day Joe got fed up with it. He goes, you know what? We're just going to let Tommy talk. Right. And so Tommy would just go start talking and it would just be this nonsense story. And people were like, oh. And then he started getting ripped up in the fucking comments.
Oh man, that's sad.
Yeah. And so now Joe was like, there, you guys fucking happy?
Yeah.
We're trying to save this dude's life.
Right.
But they would just rip into like
save his life.
Yeah. Because he would just start, it nonsense. It's like this fool had a stroke. Tommy would have a stroke every episode. And so people after that, they started going in on him because Tommy.
God, man.
Because Tommy is not a comic. You know what I'm saying? But he would try to keep up with our energy. God bless his soul. Right. So he would sometimes mirror everything Joe would say. So Joe would say something and then Tommy would say the exact same thing right behind him. And so.
Just to be on the same page generally.
And so what would happen was like Joe one day saying he got fed up with it, not with him, but what people were saying. And he go, okay, you know what? I'm not gonna say anything at all. And then Tommy would just fumble over his words because he can't mimic Joe anymore. So then people were like, oh, but then we didn't want that to happen to him,
that's
right?
stupid. Yeah.
It sucks.
What's the point of that? Yeah.
I know, but that's during the time that we would let these comments dictate what we would do.
Yeah.
And I hated that stuff because I never did that on my channel.
Right.
I just kind of said my shit and I took my blows. If I fucked up, I would apologize for it later on in video, And it was such a weird time. I'm so glad that time has now disappeared. Now people are kind of sick of it.
It's just crazy that I was learning about all of this like way later. Like I didn't know that you guys were doing any of that. And the funny thing is, one of the last times that I came on as a guest when you were still there, when we would film and it would be all laughing, it would be all loud and shit. And then once the camera cuts between episodes, dead silence.
Yeah.
And I was like, what the fuck's going on, man? And it was like, nobody wants to say one word? And I was like, what the fuck is this?
Remember, because we used to shoot starting from 9 a.m. to 9 p.m.
Yeah.
It was hard. We would say some crazy fucking shit and we would be delirious.
And
try to say stuff for the comedy of it would kind of like, shot us in the foot. Because it was delirium.
Yeah.
Like we used to shoot a lot. And it was a blessing because everybody got paid really well at the time because it was so successful. Like nobody talks about this stuff, but like Bart and Joe were so good to everybody.
Yeah.
Like when things were good, everybody prospered. People got bonuses every year. The month of December, everybody got off.
I've heard stories and it's funny because I'm hearing it from the side of, but not anymore.
Yeah. Took us to Japan.
Yeah.
Board, room stayed, paid for our meals. The whole company took us to fucking Japan.
Just insane, man.
Just because.
Yeah.
Took us to Vegas every fucking year. Fucking penthouse suites.
Jeez.
Yes. Nobody talks about this stuff.
Nah, yeah.
And so
of course not.
When the drama happened, I did my podcast like talking about all the great things that they did. Because nobody wanted to defend them.
Dude, even now, I think some people just have they have like this leftover obsession with just like thinking things are unjust there. And even me, like people will directly tell me, JK doesn't treat their employees well. And I'm like, I'm a fucking employee. It's fucking fine. Like, what are you talking about?
They don't know. They only hear it from like some random shit. Like, dude, when things were so good, they used to buy us dinner at this one spot we used to go all the time. It was a yakitori spot, right? And we could order anything and whatever. And the bill was crazy.
God damn, man.
They never gave us a limit.
Jeez.
And we also got paid really well for working 4 to 5 days a month.
That's the crazy thing. When I heard about you guys' old schedules, I was like, damn.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so like, it was crazy when people were saying like, these guys are terrible bosses. Like, I don't think you understand how little we actually work compared to regular people and the bonuses that we fucking get. Yeah. And the other opportunities that come because Bart and Joe would also build other people's channels for them. It's like, yeah, go get your fucking brand deal money.
Yeah.
Like, it's kind of unreal. But I see it from that perspective because I never forget about the hard work that I had to do to get to where I'm at.
Yeah.
So when you work for everything that you have, you're very appreciative of it. Sometimes when you're given things just because like you're ingratiated into this space, you think that you are owed everything, right? And it's not just with like, you know, former employees. It's for anybody who does that, right?
Yeah.
So people never talk about like how great of a boss they were. Yeah, they were flawed. They made mistakes, right? When the company grew big, it was hard for them to juggle. Bart had fucking Barbell Brigade, you know, Junbi happened, all these other things.
Everything blew up at the same time.
It was fucking difficult, you know, and they were trying their fucking best.
My lovely genius farts. This podcast is brought to you by BetterHelp and is sponsoring Genius Brain. So listen up, my friends. If you haven't thought about therapy, maybe you should give it a try. If your mind is clouded, you don't know where you're going, and you only focus on your physical health, you should focus on your mental health as well, because it's just as important, if not more important, because they kind of go in tandem for me. If I work on my mental health, my physical health just works better. It just gets better, man. Sometimes in life we're faced with tough choices and the path forward isn't always clear. Whether you're dealing with decisions around career, relationships, or anything else, therapy helps you stay connected to what you really want while you navigate life so you can move forward with confidence and excitement. So listen, trusting yourself to make decisions that align with your values is like anything. The more you practice it, the easier it gets, and BetterHelp can find a therapist that can help you along with these thoughts and these goals. I personally love BetterHelp. I've been using it for a very long time now, and you guys know I'm all about that mental health. So if you're thinking about starting therapy, give BetterHelp a try. All you have to do is fill out a brief questionnaire to get you matched with a licensed therapist and switch therapists anytime for no additional charge. Let therapy be your map with BetterHelp. Visit BetterHelp.com/genius today to get 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/genius.
I think the reason why we don't run into problems like that now is that every person on the main cast has a lot of shit they're doing outside of JK. So when we come together, it's like, finally we can just like, it's like breathing time.
Yeah,
to just
man.
like, we come together to do this thing and it feels like a break from the hustle. And then it's back to the hustle, like after JK's done, you know?
I watched that episode. It popped up on my feed because a lot of people were tagging me on it. It was when Bart and Joe talked a little bit about the drama.
Yeah, he like addressed it slightly, yeah.
Yeah, and it was really nice because they never said their piece, right?
And they still kind of haven't.
They haven't. They just kind of said like, look, this is what the mission was and this is what this was about. And I really appreciated that about them, was like, you know, the mission isn't to ruin somebody's life, right?
Yeah.
The mission is comedy. We're here to make people laugh.
Yeah.
This is what we are here for. We're going to miss the mark sometimes. Not everybody is going to laugh, but essentially this is what the goal is. And they took the high road, right?
Yeah, they did.
Which was really, really good of them.
And it's so easy to not and to just like buy into all that stuff. Cause like, I mean, channel wise, who wouldn't? Like everybody would address that to death.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And they could have profited off of it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But that's not what this channel is about.
Yeah.
Right? Every company that somebody works for, if they leave, they might have some gripes about it because it didn't work out the way that they wanted, right? But I worked for them, right? And I worked with them on every fucking level, right? But I pulled my fucking weight, and I also worked a regular job. I also worked, even when I was doing YouTube and I was making good money, I worked as a PA on fucking film sets.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
I didn't know you were doing that.
I wanted that experience.
Shit. Wow.
So I worked at my parents' business. I did all this other stuff. So I know what it's like to work that regular 9 to 5, run a bit. I know what that shit's like.
Right.
To come on a channel, to build your own fame, go walk away with the paycheck that's more than livable. On top of that, get a whole month off in December, get a bonus at the end of the year when the company did well, paid vacations, food all paid for, is unreal. Working 4 to 5 days a week.
See, I feel like
a month, excuse me.
If anything, just that alone, just the pay, if that was public, would squash a lot of people's misunderstandings.
Yeah.
I feel like.
Because people were bringing up other stuff too. They was like, oh, tell us the exact numbers that people got paid. It's like, you're not privy to that fucking information.
Yeah,
right?
No, not at all.
You're absolutely not. And guess what? When times got tough, people didn't get paid that well. We all took a fucking cut.
Yeah.
Right? At a certain point, like I said this before too, we were getting paid even the days that we didn't show up because they would just give us a monthly pay.
Jeez, man. Yeah.
They don't know about that.
No.
It was like that for years.
Wow.
Right? Up until the point where JK was bleeding fucking money.
Yeah.
Rules changed.
Right.
Then it was like, you're only getting paid this amount for when you show up. But it wasn't like that for a majority of the time until the company was going under.
Right.
But see, that's what I'm saying. Like, why do I have to tell these fucking details?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I'm not saying anything because I talked about this on a previous podcast, but
yeah.
like, it was hard. It was fucking hard for everybody, dude. Everybody took such a fucking hard hit. Dude, they don't even know Bart and Joe weren't even taking a fucking check in the first few years of JK.
I honestly don't even know if they're taking anything now.
Like, you know what I'm saying?
I do the math in my head sometimes. I'm like, you guys aren't
no
getting
way.
paid shit. I was like, there's no way. How are you doing that?
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, and nobody should have to say this. Like, I shouldn't have to come out and say this for people, right? Because honestly, it's none of your fucking business. And we like to keep things in the family.
Right.
But I do want people to understand that these are some of the best people I've ever known in my life.
Yeah.
We've opened businesses together. We have a matcha franchise together. I have made plenty of mistakes. They have forgiven my mistakes and I've gotten better because of them.
Yeah.
Right? Because I've owned up to my mistakes. Whenever I showed up late, I forgot to mention something that I had to do. They've always were very gracious.
Just make it work. Yeah.
They made it work. And I wasn't the most perfect one of the group. Like, I would fuck up. I would say some crazy shit that I wasn't. And, at the time it was like the wokeism times. I would fuck up and they gave me grace. I have never, ever worked at a place that was like that.
I don't think you can find a place like that anymore.
At all.
Yeah.
At fucking all.
I think by law they can't exist.
I think the company would have to go under.
I think what they're doing is illegal.
Yeah. Dude, Bart and Joe did their best. And when things got so out of hand, when the company was bleeding money and everybody was hurting, people don't talk about what they were going through.
Yeah.
It's hard to watch your brainchild fucking die in front of you. Imagine how fucking difficult that shit is.
Yeah.
Right. And every time I had a conversation with Joe, he was like, fuck, like, how am I going to get these guys paid? He wasn't even talking about himself, which blew my fucking mind. But they're not going to go ahead and say that.
And it's such a long running, it's like Jknews isn't some like random thing that popped up for like 2 years and then now they can't sustain it. That shit's like kind of part of everything. It's like part of the history of just like Asian YouTube in general.
Yeah. And look, people who have left JK are doing fine on their own. They're very successful.
That's what I was saying. I'm like, when I look at that, I'm like, everybody looks like they're okay.
They're doing great.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And that's not in spite of JK.
No,
it's because of, right? And nobody's going out of the way to like, watching other people succeed makes us very fucking happy.
Yeah.
It really makes me feel good.
That's the one thing that when I visited you guys at the new studio, and I think I went into it was maybe your office or somebody's, and I saw on the wall, there was like a list of companies that you guys were all affiliated with. Me and Dietrich were there together for JK Party. And then I remember like, I was like talking to D and I was like, dude, these dudes are like, they're Asian, but they're doing like white people shit. Like they're doing as the whites do.
Yeah.
They're owning companies like in a row. Like there were so many different affiliations. And I'm like, we've always worked very hard to just do our thing very well, like whatever our one thing is. But then I'd never seen the example of another, like, we were all in this alliance of Asian creators, independent companies, whatever, but I'd never seen it diversified to that level.
Yeah.
And it was like inspiring to me. I'm like, damn.
Success by yourself is very fucking lonely.
Yeah.
Like being successful with others is probably one of the best feelings I've ever had in my life. Like growing with my friends, watching everybody have kids, own their first homes, like building, like me and Joe opening a store up in Waikiki together. Like these moments are the moments that I cherish the most because imagine like having money and success by yourself while nobody else gets to partake in this.
Yeah. You
just become that guy that's like, oh, I'm going to go here. Sorry, I have to work. Oh,
that's kind of what I felt like happened to Victor. I feel like he tried so hard to be successful and then kind of alienated other people out of his life to reach the top. And once he was there, he was like, anybody happy for me or what's up?
Yeah.
And like no one was around anymore.
It's a tragic story for a lot of people.
Yeah.
And they go, oh, these friends are fake. It's like, no, man. Like sometimes it's you forgetting where you came from.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like watching everybody succeed. Dude, Bart and Joe, they were so fucking broke when I met them. Like I remember because Bart had to live in his parents' house, like the rental spot.
Yeah.
And then Joe lived in the back house.
Right.
And then Bart's mom, in order for him to save up money, wouldn't charge him rent. So he got to live there for free.
Mm-hmm.
And then everybody else was taking a paycheck from JK and they weren't. And I was the one who had the most money. Right. Because I had my own channel, my own thing, and I was making money.
Yeah.
But then, by the way, when I say I was the richest one, I was still poor as shit.
Yeah. It's not saying that
Yeah. Exactly. So you're
the least poor.
Yeah, I'm the least poor out of all you fuckers, dude.
Yeah.
That's right, dude. I got the most gas in my tank, bitch. But those are the memories that we cherish a lot because we got to kind of suffer together. And a lot of the people that ended up not staying with us were the people that didn't get to suffer with us, right? That didn't struggle with us at the time.
Yeah.
And so for us, we always have this eye of like graciousness. And we always talk like, hey, remember that time when we had to fucking split this or we had to split that? And I cherish those moments the most. It was the most exciting because I'll never trade those memories for anything, right? I've known Bart and Joe now for a decade plus. I've never had a single problem with any of them, right? They've allowed me to be who I am. I allow them to be who they are. And we're imperfect creatures that are just learning and getting better till this day. And like, you can't get friendship like that, dude.
It's crazy. And we're living in a place where it's common to just not have long friendships.
Yeah.
Like everybody's mad, like fast, like besties overnight and then no longer talking.
Bro, I've had the same friends since elementary school.
Yeah.
Like I don't.
It says a lot. It says a lot to have long ass friends.
I just don't throw away people like that. Because even like people now who, I don't talk as much, but they played such an important part of my life when I was younger. If they need me, I'm there.
Yeah.
Right. Like these people who've built you up literally invested into you. Maybe not financially, but they invest into you some type of way that allowed you to do what you do now.
Right. Yeah.
It's hard for me to just throw away people. So one of the things too that I'll always say, and I never talk big about myself, I may not be I'm dumb as shit, but I know how to make friends. And I know something about friendships and decent fucking human beings. Yeah. Right? Because if you're telling me right now that you know more about friendships than me, then I better hope that you've had the same friends since you were 2 years old. Because I have about fucking 10 of them like that. And these fucks are still my friends till this fucking day.
I never realized because like that's normal to us, right? Like it's normal to have friends for that long. But then you realize later it's not something you can find everywhere.
A lot of people now are very opportunistic.
Yeah.
So they look at people as opportunities rather than connections.
Yeah, dude. Especially you working in entertainment, that's most of the people you're going to meet.
Yeah.
They're going to see you that way.
Yeah. Hey, man, that's my bro. You just met him.
Yeah.
You don't know him.
You can always tell it when someone's introducing you to someone else and how they talk about you. Mm-hmm. And you know they don't know you that well.
100%.
And they're like, yo, anything you need, this guy is the man. Like, it's like, really? Anything? Like, bro.
Anything? I'm a little horny. Finish me off right now, bro. Make it happen. I'm very wary about people who kind of immediately say, oh, that's my bro, that's my homie. I am not your bro or your homie.
Yeah.
We got drunk once and I drank an oyster shooter out of your belly button. That's it.
There are also people that have an odd low threshold for killing someone for you.
Yeah.
Like they're like, yo, I will fucking fuck someone up for you, bro. And they just met you yesterday. It's like there are crazy ass people like that too. You're like, why do you have my back so hard, bro?
It's like, you do that for me too, right? Yeah. Absolutely not. Yeah. Absolutely not. Somebody's fucking with you, you're just gonna get your ass beat. Yeah. And I'm just gonna fucking world star that shit.
I don't know like what that's a product of, but yeah, some people are your friend for real to an uncomfortable quick degree.
Dude, but those people too who like quick friend you, they also get disappointed in you super fast.
Yeah, that's true. The expectations like astronomical.
Like, dog, I didn't know, like, that's not you, man. You don't know me.
Yeah.
I am that. I am exactly that. You're just disappointed.
Yeah. They're like, oh man, what happened to David, dude?
It's like, nothing. I'm the same fucking guy, man.
Yeah.
I cut that shit off real fast now. It's like, dude, that's my fucking boy. I am not your boy.
It's hard, man. Friendships are hard to navigate in fucking California in general.
I feel like you have such a strong group of friends, though.
I think I was lucky to find a lot of people that have that same vibe, you know?
Mm-hmm.
But that's just like JK. That's why like we all resonated together. That generation in general of Asian independent creators had a very similar idea of like what they wanted out of like person-to-person friendships, I feel like.
Yeah, and like I think we also kind of have our generation is very unique because I think that we can all appreciate other people without having to really necessarily like everything that they do.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Right. Like I said on this podcast, like I fucking appreciate the shit out of Wong Fu. I don't like a lot of their stuff. You know? Like that's because I'm such a piece of shit and they're so kind. Yeah. You know? Like
no, I get it. Yeah.
Like there's no way that I'm going to watch fucking, you know, Strangers Forever Never and then fucking relate to that shit. I'm not.
Yeah, but,
I'm gonna watch,
but it's like, thank God it exists.
Exactly,
and it's there for people. Yeah,
thank God that people relate to this stuff, and I'm pretty sure that people have these emotions. But for me, it's not going to resonate. Yeah. And there's a lot of stuff that they make that I do like.
Right,
but people never understood that concept. Like I talked about this, and people are like, "Why are you hating on them?" I'm like, I know them. What are you talking about?
Why are you suppressing them, bro?
Yeah, like what the fuck are you talking? Like you know me now. Like how am I supposed to relate to that shit?
Yeah.
I'm not gonna fucking relate to it. It's not going to make sense.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like I remember I did a parody of their stuff and people were like, damn, you roasted them. I'm like, I'm not roasting them.
Damn, David hates
Wong Fu. I was like, oh my God, I can't do anything.
He wants them to die.
People thought I fucking hated Ryan Higa.
Why?
Because they asked if I found his stuff funny. And I was like, nah, it's not my thing. Like, I don't think his stuff is very funny, but he's like one of my favorite creators.
Yeah.
But they just conveniently deleted that last part. You know? Like, till this day, I'm sad that he doesn't make YouTube videos anymore. Literally one of the best creators that have ever existed on the space.
Absolutely, yeah.
So I didn't enjoy all of his stuff because we have a different sense of humor, but he's still he is the GOAT to me.
And it's like, you don't want him to change his humor to fit yours.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? It's like, don't start making shit that I like. Make what you make.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So,
but are you used to that? Like, were you always like that as a kid that you were like, oh, half the class is going to hate me?
I think
every class you go to.
Hey man, I got used to people fucking hating me, man. And you know, honestly, it was like me trying to be a stand-up comic, and it was some really good advice from a stand-up comic at the time who came. He goes, you know, when you do stand-up comedy, you got to stop doing this thing where he would see that I would do this, where you're trying not to offend people.
Oh,
he goes, go up there, say how you fucking feel, and take the shots. Like say what you want for the fucking joke.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
Right.
Stop being on the fence, and that's what a lot of comics do now. Oh, I want to, but if you do this, it's like, dog,
that's hard.
Just stick to the joke. You know, people who get offended, they will get offended. Just try to make your stuff clever and funny. And I would do that so often. So I just got used to just taking whatever would come. You know, I think that's also why like auditioning at first for roles used to fuck me up for the first 2 auditions or so. And then it kind of got scabbed over.
Yeah. That's kind of how you have to be.
Yeah,
right?
because like, look, if you do stand-up, even till this day, stand-up is frightening for me. When I go up on stage and I do my stand-up bit, and even though I've been doing it since I was 16, I still feel that same fucking scary gut in my feeling. It's like, dude, you have to prove to this group of like 100 or fucking 50 people that you're fucking funny that don't know who you are.
Yeah.
And
they're not even primed to laugh. Like they're sitting there like this.
Yeah. And you got to somehow make them fucking laugh.
Yeah.
When you're in an audition room, it's just like 2 people that you just have to prove that you can act. It's okay. I'll fucking live. Yeah. You go up on stage, nobody laughs. It's one of the worst feelings on earth. I literally want to die.
I don't think I could ever get myself to do that.
Try it so you could feel my pain.
Fuck, man.
Like I shit you not, it is painful.
It's, you know what? You know why I believe that so much? Because every comedian, no matter where they are in their career, still admits that bombing is the worst feeling on earth.
It hurts so bad. It hurts so bad. Like, I can't remember the last time I bombed big, right? But when I did bomb, this one time I was performing at a bar, TVs were playing, and I went up to
all this noise and shit.
Dude, I went up to do my set, not a single person laughed, and I was like, "This is the day that I end myself." And luckily, one of my homies, who was a really good comic at the time, came up and he started roasting the crowd for me for being assholes, and he made a funny set
after your set.
Yeah, and then he was killing it.
Oh, of course.
But like, I thanked him so much. I was like, "Bro, you made me feel better." He goes, "Bro, that crowd was terrible."
You
like,
didn't address your own bombing while it was happening?
No, I just started fumbling over my words. Hey, please laugh.
Do you remember the context of anything you said?
No, I don't. It was such a blur. I remember my face turning red and just like, please, somebody laugh at anything. I swear.
So like people were paying attention to you. They just weren't laughing? It wasn't that they were distracted?
They were distracted and they were drunk. I did another performance.
Okay.
It was actually at a B-boy jam and they wanted a stand-up comic there.
In SAC?
And I said yes to it. And it was terrible, bro.
B-boy jam? What were your jokes?
I don't even remember, bro. It was so fucking
You tell B-boy
bad.
jokes?
Hey, what do you call a dude who does a fucking pose and his ass crack is showing? A hollow crack.
Hey, that dude's funny, man.
He's
That dude's tight.
He's hella funny, dog. Hey, that's not the only crickets in the crowd.
I don't think anything that's happening at a jam that's not b-boying just doesn't work.
Dog.
Like they've tried everything. They'll
And I
do
was
like spoken word. They'll do like
I was dating a Filipino girl at the time and she came to the show and she saw me bomb. I was so fucking embarrassed. She actually gave me a head out of pity, I think, that day.
she was just giving you a pat on the back while sucking.
Yeah, she's like, it's okay. She could feel the tears hit the back of her head. Dog, it was so fucking sad.
Oh,
there was actually a
no.
B-boy. What the fuck was his name? And I really liked him a lot, but he laughed at some of my jokes. And
Remedy.
It wasn't Remedy.
A sack b-boy?
Yeah, no, it was fucking Nasty Ray.
Oh yeah. Well, he's a funny guy, so he would get it.
Nasty
Yeah.
Ray laughed at some of my jokes, and I
Yeah.
was like, you don't even know I'm a big fan of his because Nasty Ray's fucking dope, bro.
Yeah.
So
he's
like
dope.
Nasty Ray actually laughed at some of my jokes. I was like, thanks, man.
Thanks for being the one guy.
Thanks for being the one guy that stopped by and actually laughed. While everybody else is fucking trying to get their fucking, set ready together and shit like that. And I'm over
That's
here
hard,
like,
dude.
yeah, hey guys, you know what it's like being a Korean guy?
That's hard to do a stand-up comedy act at
As
a
I think
b-boy
about
jam.
it, I want to die right now. And that happened fucking like 15 years ago.
And it still kills you. You're like, oh.
Still fucking kills me, man.
Maybe part of that's because you'll never have like a retribution for that specific moment. Like you'll never go back to that exact time and do a good job.
Dude, there's
Like, it
sometimes
just stands as a bad thing.
I've said that. I don't think I've ever said that. Like, so sometimes I think about like, dude, I wish I could sometimes go back in time and then re-fuck the girls that I gave terrible fucking dick to. Like, I'm better than this.
Or how about just not fuck them?
Oh yeah, that's true. Stop!
Yeah.
Your dick game is trash.
There's no point. Just stop. Just don't do it.
Hey, bro, you're not good, dude.
Yeah.
Who are you?
Spare her this memory.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just want to go back in time. It's like, I can do better.
Yeah.
I can do so much. Watch my tongue. No.
Watch, it's way worse.
Yeah, it's like way worse. She goes, oh my God, that was fucking trash. Like, I just get so embarrassed. I don't ever regret anything, right?
Yeah.
But then going back to those memories of just going on stage and not hearing a single laugh, it's fucking terrifying.
Oh my God, yeah. Isn't that great that when you guys were doing JK all the time, there wasn't live reactions to like everything you said?
Oh my God.
That you could hear audibly, like in ear?
Dude,
God, that would be torture.
Jknews live would kill.
Oh, when you guys would go and do it at places?
No, they've never done it.
Never done it.
It would smash.
Never done it. You guys never, but wasn't there times you did to like conventions or shit like that?
I would do college shows, but I would just do stand-up by myself.
Oh.
Yeah. So I would work these sets and do stand-up and stuff like that.
I would really love for them to do Jknews live.
Do JK live? I mean, you would have to set it up where it's a very entertaining show where you keep the crowd involved like a game show.
Yeah.
You just have to set that up.
Right.
That shit would fucking smash.
Just no budget for it.
Yeah, somehow we have to do it without a
Just
budget.
can't afford it.
Yeah. We're going to have to do it. One of the things that people want, I'm going to do a Genius Brain like comedy thing.
Yeah.
Like where it's a stand up with all the stand up comics who came on here and then we're going to do our own sets. But I've thought about this right now where I'm just going to have an open event and there's going to be no cover charge. It's donations only.
Whoa.
You pay what you feel like you want because I don't want to gatekeep it with money.
Yeah.
Like I'm not doing it for a paycheck anyways. And my
Yeah.
friends just want to do it to work their sets and have a longer set than 5 minutes.
That's really cool.
And I'm like, hey, you guys pay what you want. Like if you find value in this, and you only have $1, 30 cents, PayPal the 30 cents. Pay $1. I don't give a fuck. Just come here and enjoy. So I'm going to do it on a donation basis. So I want to set that up probably like in August. And I honestly won't do long sets. It's just going to be like a 10, 15 minute set and somebody else will do another 15, another 15, another 15.
Dude, that's dope, man.
And then people will come out and enjoy themselves. Yeah. And then Ryan, you're going to be the headliner, dude.
I'm the headliner?
Yep.
Yeah.
And then I'm going to make you break your fucking ACL again.
I'll just do ministry for Seventh-day Adventist Church.
Like, honestly, I just want people, if like friends who I find funny, like even if you didn't do stand up and they know you, like try a 5-minute set. And it's a crowd that people know you. And if you suck at it,
You know what that is? Like, I equate that in my mind to like, hey, you kind of looked cool dancing for a second. Do a 5-minute show. Like the idea of that.
dude, stand up is the most disrespected profession on earth.
Yeah.
Everybody's
Right.
like, oh, you can do stand up. It's the worst. Like when like a friend or like a homegirl comes up to another girl and she goes,
Yeah.
you know what? You're fucking
Oh,
funny.
that's a different situation, man. When
Yeah,
girls
Eric.
do that to each other, that's really dangerous.
They just gas them up. Have you ever tried doing stand up? You can try doing stand up. And they go up and it's the worst thing ever.
That's the hardest thing, man. Like, at least guys are more like prone to just be dicks to each other and tell each other they suck. But like when women are empowering each other for shit, that's like,
You know
not
what?
even.
You're funny. They just don't know. You're funny. No, don't do that.
That's dangerous, dude.
My buddy Tyler, one of the funniest dudes you'll ever meet in your
Mhm.
life, right? Just sitting around in a circle, like talking shit like
Yeah.
this, has me crying laughing.
Yeah.
And then I was like, you should do stand up, right? And I really thought he'd be great. He goes up, bombs. Goes up again, bombs. So
Now
many
he has some of
times.
the worst core memories ever.
I know. And I was like, fuck, I felt so bad. But I'm like, bro, you're so fucking funny. Like, just say what you said to
Yeah.
us on stage.
Yeah.
Don't do the other fucking typical, it was like weird typical jokes that people ever, I'm like, tell that story of when you were fucking your wife in the ass.
Mhm.
And it was so fucking funny. Just do that story.
You know what it is? It's like if I was to do that, right? I don't think I have the patience. Because you know the patience of not hearing the crowd react
Mhm.
and it's okay? I don't have that built in.
Oh, yeah.
Because
yeah.
even when I'm dancing, I don't have that patience. Like if I'm doing like a set, like a dance set, and I haven't done anything that made someone audibly go, ooh, then I feel like I'm doing a bad job.
Oh.
Yeah. So I think when you know where you're going in comedy, like with your comedic set, you can understand to ride the pocket. I'm not gonna have that. So I'm gonna get nervous and start doing some cheap ass things I think are funny. And
People do the same thing in stand-up. I used to do that too. It's exactly like stand-up.
yeah, is
So-
that similar?
One of the things that I used to do that I fucking hated in myself that I don't do now
Mm-hmm.
is that I would always do these cheap, stupid monikers of like doing an accent just because it would get white people to laugh.
But isn't that the age old, like that's the temptation, right?
Exactly, because
Yeah.
I know it's going to get an instant laugh.
Yeah.
And I'm like, you know what, dude? Nah. Like, you're going to have to sit there, and if you bomb, just take it. Just sit there and finish your joke and
Mhm.
work that fucking set. Because now my stand-up is more myself. I used to just like say these one-off like stupid jokes, but now I'm more into like, okay, say what you feel,
Build your idea. Yeah.
right? And do what you do. And I started
Mhm.
becoming better at that.
Yeah.
And then when I understood that, look, it's okay to build up a story, I became better at it. Like, don't freak out. Don't do it. Don't go up there and go, no, man. Like, fucking don't say it. Don't say it. Just fucking ride the pocket out and say your joke.
Dude, even doing a set where that's what you're saying is pretty fucking funny.
Yeah. Like, that's the hard part about stand-up too. And by the way, sometimes your sets will hit, sometimes it won't.
Yeah.
Right. And I've seen people now who like, they're trying to make the set work. And I've seen it at a club where it made somebody cry laughing.
Yeah.
And the next club that they did that I went with them,
And it's verbatim the exact same delivery and
laughs.
everything. Yeah.
Nobody fucking laughs. So you just got to figure that shit out, and you have to be okay with it, man. And it's fucking hard. It's when I'm sitting there telling this set, I'm like, no, it's gonna kill, and then you just hear, I'm like,
Oh God. Oh man.
hi everybody.
See, that's like, oh God, that's a thing where like being a dancer is like a million times easier
Mhm.
because you just finish your shit. You don't have to deal with like, do people like it? It's like you're just doing your thing.
Dude, dance, I remember because I was such a huge everybody dances in Sacramento, right?
Mhm.
Even I tried doing it. I couldn't dance. I couldn't dance. And I went straight to fucking singing, and I went straight to fucking doing comedy. I'm
Yeah.
like, this is not my thing.
Right.
I cannot do this.
There's so many freaking crews in Sac.
Dude, so many,
Yeah.
dude. Hella Hmong fucking crews. Like,
Oh yeah.
like
Yeah.
if Hmong people weren't gangbanging, they were b-boying the shit out of people.
Dude, thank God for b-boying for like some of these Hmong kids, man. It saved them. Yeah.
They don't know anything else.
Yeah.
Dude, you want to talk about fucking during the height of fucking like air power, right? Hmong dudes. They were the first ones to grab air flares, like nothing.
Yeah, air steps.
And like crazy. Like how the fuck are these? You know what? It's because their body is so short and stubby.
They got some big dudes that are flying.
What's that one fucking fat Hmong boy?
It's like Dummy or something.
B-boy Dummy from Sacramento.
Yeah.
This boy, dog.
He defies the laws of physics. Exactly.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
It doesn't make, it's dummy. It's fucking crazy, dude.
It doesn't make sense.
Like I just remember just like during the time, like Sacramento was so good with like dance. Like there's so many, like it has a huge art culture in Sacramento.
Great art culture, yeah.
So like watching all like B-boy Morris, right? From Sacramento. This guy's fucking killing it. Freestyle session.
Still killing it.
Still fucking killing it, right? And like watching these guys go to such a bigger platform was fucking nuts.
Yeah.
Fucking Phil Tyag, also from fucking Sacramento, right?
Yep.
But one of the founding members of fucking Jabberwockies.
Yeah.
The Stereotypes, world-renowned producers, fucking John Yip, right? Jeremy, like Germs, Jeremy, they're from Sacramento.
Yeah, Stereotypes, man. I didn't even know they were from Sac for so long.
Yeah, man, they're fucking Sacramento people, dude.
So
Victor Kim, also from Sacramento.
Yeah.
All these people came from Sacramento and people don't even know about it.
Yeah.
So like Phil Tyag, like I remember watching Phil as a freshman at Florence High School, and he would perform at our assemblies because we had like the high school dance team. And what he was doing was so fucking mind-blowing at the time, right? Because he also had Boogie Monsters. Right. So Boogie Monsters, like the way that they were doing things was so fucking different.
Super different. Yeah.
And at the time, like I remember what blew people's mind was like watching people do set choreography that they thought that you couldn't do as a set because people wouldn't be able to follow it. So people would dumb down the set so it would be very easy choreo. But the Boogie Monsters was like, nah, you can follow this.
Yeah.
Right. And so watching people do these very like difficult moves that they thought only you could do as a solo, but doing it in a group was wild.
It always like blew my mind that so many innovations were based in Sac. Like of all the places in the world, like whole dance forms just came out of Sac.
Yeah.
It's like so weird. Do you know about Black Flag dance?
Yeah, Black Flag is fucking
Black Flag
sick.
is the now of all that shit you listed. Like they are the today of all of that.
Like
it's dope.
Fucking your boy Rudy Raynaud. Also from Sac.
Yeah, Rue, yeah.
You know what I mean? Like Rudy's fucking sick as hell, dude. And you know, not only as a fucking musician, as a fucking dancer, he does tricks.
Yep.
I thought Rudy was actually related to like the Filipino kid in Black Flag.
Ren?
Yeah.
Ren Chris?
They're not related, right?
I don't know. I'm not sure.
I thought that was like his nephew or some shit like that.
Maybe. I wouldn't be surprised if they're Filipino and they're in Sac. Somebody somewhere linked it up.
That fool's fucking sick as hell, dude.
Yeah.
You have people like TJ Lewis, also part of the Jabberwock.
TJ Lewis.
I remember TJ when he was a little fucking kid.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I have videos of TJ Lewis. I have videos of TJ what's it called? They were the trio at the time. It was the two Filipino kids who are now Jabberwocky members and the one and Kid Kita.
Oh, yeah.
So those two are Jabberwockies, and then obviously Kita the Great did his own fucking thing. Where America's Got Talent blew him up and he did his own thing. They were a trio at the time. And I have videos of them when they were like fucking 7 or 8 years old.
Damn, dude.
Yeah.
That's the crazy thing about the Sac scene. It's like they really honed in on a particular form.
Yeah. If you guys don't know who TJ Lewis is, like follow him. Like he is, to me, one of the best dancers to ever come out of Sacramento.
Yeah.
He is like the future to me. Like I think he could dust anybody out there. He's that fucking
TJ's
good.
crazy, yeah.
He's nuts. Like when I see him move, I'm like, dude, I remember this kid was a little fucking kid. And now he's a grown ass fucking man just dancing his fucking heart out.
Yeah. And didn't they do something in Sac where they put funds towards like the arts district so that like artists could live and work on their craft and not have to deal with like rent.
Yeah, they still have that area is dope as shit. You have to be an artist to live there, and you have to make a certain amount of income to be able to live there, or not make a certain amount of income.
Right. There's like a window you have to fit inside, and you have to be practicing your work like to a degree where it shows progress or something.
The area is so fucking dope. We have like so much street art out there.
Yeah.
Sacramento is a really dope city if you want to go towards like the artist side, because people really develop that side a lot.
Yeah.
So I've been very fortunate to see other people do it before me. To make me want to do it. Like, it's kind of crazy, like being able to meet up and link with Phil and be like, fuck, man, you were like my neighbor. We used to play basketball together.
Yeah.
You know? And now people look at him as like a godfather.
That's what's crazy. Why, like, I can't believe I missed you so many times.
We're like literally a stone skip away from each other.
Because like, I mean, because I was living with Victor for years.
Yeah. And we never went. Dude, I knew like Dietrich's too, also from Sacramento.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like Dietrich's, I haven't seen that for fucking ages, man.
Yeah, he was the person that told me that when we were watching your shit, D was like, yo, you know he's from SAG and he's like friends with Victor, and I went, how the fuck have we not met him?
Yeah. Dude, he had a video that had me crying laughing.
Like an old one or
no, when he fucking showed his bald head.
Oh, bro,
dude. I was literally crying from laughing. Because I'm like, dude, this guy is ridiculous, man.
I'm so proud of him for that shit.
He did that sneeze and his head came up. Bro, I fucking dropped everything. He cracked me the fuck up.
I was so proud of him for that because like he had been losing hair for years.
All those head spins, dude.
And we like, we had to like, because I was cutting his hair all those years, and we like made this style where these parts were long and it went in like a ship to cover like the receding.
Wow.
And like, it just kept getting further and further back. And then he was like, I gotta find something, man. So then like I looked up like what are some systems that you can get to like fix this. And then we went to that spot and he was like, come with me, let's record it just in case someday I want to reveal that I'm bald.
Yeah.
And so we recorded the whole thing, we're laughing our asses off. Like it's a very serious place.
Yeah.
You're not supposed to make jokes out of the whole shit. And then he came up with this freaking genius idea. Like he talked to the owner and was like, check this out. Everybody that comes through here has to keep it a secret that they're coming here. He goes, I don't. I can tell my fan base I'm bald.
Yeah.
And then so he did this deal where he like, they worked with him in exchange for publicizing that he got it done.
That's amazing.
Yeah. And he was like the first guy out of that whole like office to have ever, brought PR in.
I was actually shocked because of how good it looked.
Yeah, it's convincing.
If he never said anything, nobody would have known.
I don't think so.
It looks so fucking good.
Nah, and you know what's funny? There's a lot of people that got their stuff done at the same place through him. And you'll never know they have it either.
Guys.
I think now is the time.
If that did happen, I would just tell people. Like, I don't give a fuck.
Yeah.
It is what it is. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like if I went bald like around the time, well, I was talking to a doctor. They're like, well, with male pattern baldness, once you hit your mid-30s and if you still have your hair, most likely you'll keep it till you're like at least your 50s.
I've heard that. Yeah.
Yeah. So I was like, okay.
That's like the threshold. It's like if it's gone at that point,
you're pretty much done.
Say bye-bye. Yeah.
So when I still had my hair and he was like, you're fine. Like your hair's, I have thin hair. He goes, but you're not balding. You've always had thin hair. So just don't worry about it. Maybe in your 50s, you might start balding, but in my 50s, I don't give a fuck.
Yeah. By then, people just don't give a fuck either.
Exactly. My fucking balls are at my ankles. Who cares, dude? I don't give a fuck.
No one's even looking at you, let alone making fun of you.
I know. Like, can you pick your balls off the floor, please? It's fucking disgusting.
Sir, are those yours? Okay. Thank you.
It's so warm. Dude, man.
Losing hair is like it's a crazy thing too, especially for Dom, because like hair was a part of his brand.
Yeah.
So at first, like I was like, oh, what the fuck's gonna happen?
I couldn't, like, definitely if I went bald, you would see me so buff.
To like counteract.
I have to, dude. I'm not good looking enough for that shit, dude. There's so many Buddha jokes that could happen. I can't be fat and look like this, Asian and bald. I have to get buff.
Right.
I have no choice. I'm taking steroids. I'm doing everything, dude.
Yeah.
So like, if I still have hair, I'm still gonna be like this. Once the hair goes, bro, I'm gonna be fucking jacked.
You know what? That is a nice reconciliation because when you're jacked and bald, nobody even notices and it just looks good.
Yeah, it's like that's what it's supposed to be.
Yeah.
I can't fucking
You look
do
like
that.
the Kung Fu Hustle old guy that like comes out. And they're like, that dude's tight.
That's why Dietrich got fat. He got the hairpiece. If he just went bald, he'd be buff as fuck.
Doesn't fucking matter now.
Yeah, doesn't fucking matter. I'm beautiful. Look at this fucking beautiful hairpiece.
Dude, those hairpieces are crazy too. They're so expensive.
How much do they cost?
I think if you go through like an agency, they just hike it up like crazy. Those are essentially just shit from China. You could probably get on Temu.
Yeah.
But like that shit is like, they're thousands of dollars sometimes. Yeah. Depending, yeah.
Holy shit.
But again, like I think if you're just kind of jumping into it without any knowledge, you kind of go, yeah, of course they are. But then they're not. They're like pretty cheap if you get it. If you cut out the 50 middlemen it takes to get it. You know what I mean?
And you get the piece, and then you could use that, and then that process would probably, I don't know, like $100 every time.
Yeah, and it really is just like you shave your whole head and you keep the sides, and then you just put the glue and you just stick it down. It's a whole process.
How long does it last?
I think typically, like if you're not sweating a whole lot, I think it lasts like a month or so.
Damn, that's long as shit.
I could be wrong, but like I know for like Dom, he had to change it more because like he was
Dancing.
active. Yeah. Yeah. So, but it's one of those things where you really can't do anything. You can swim, you can do whatever. Like, it's
What the
undetectable, bro.
Fuck.
Like, that's just crazy.
Oh my! I might as well just get rid of the shit on my head right now and do it.
Yeah. I feel like a lot of people actually do that too, because it's like like, you know, those China TikToks where the dudes will be switching them and shit.
Yeah.
It's like that. It's so quick to just put on a new hairstyle. Like,
Damn, that you just blew my fucking mind. Now I'm like, I don't feel so bad. Like when I don't know, I'm fine now. But like if I had to deal with that,
Yeah.
I definitely would have called Dom up. I was like, hey, bro, show me the ways.
Yeah.
Dude, Dom one time, like years ago, before we had this body, I'm gonna tell the story where
Okay.
Dom hit me up, and so there was this girl, she was a YouTuber at the time named Gabby Hanna.
Yeah.
And then I didn't do this video as an attack piece. It was a video of me and Justin in a car. We were just talking about random shit.
Oh.
And it was about her stealing like Bill Burr bits.
Oh.
You know what I'm saying? I was like, that's kind of
I remember that era. Yeah. There was like a Louis C.K. discrepancy.
Oh,
with
yeah.
something
Louis
she
C.K. It
said.
wasn't Bill Burr. It was Louis C.K.
Yeah.
That's how little I care. And then,
Yeah.
dude, Dom was good friends with her.
Yeah.
So Dom, she was venting to Dom about me.
Because like she had assumed you were connected.
Yeah, he's like, what the fuck? This fat fuck is talking shit about me, but all this other stuff, saying all this mean fucking terrible shit.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what about what? You know, I'm like,
Right.
oh, she's mad because of that video? I'm like, well, I thought, isn't it you did steal it? Like, it's not just apologize and move on. It's not a problem. But for her, it's a big fucking deal. She's also a lot younger than, because I didn't say she wasn't talented. I didn't say she wasn't she's actually really talented.
Yeah, she actually is. Yeah.
Very fucking talented.
Yeah, insane. Yeah.
You cannot take that away from her.
She really is. Yeah.
And so he hits me up. He's like, hey, bro, like, I'm not telling you to put the video down because she's asking. I just have to tell you because she asked me to tell you. But don't take the video down. That's so dumb.
That's such a nice thing to do in a way.
Yeah, he goes, out of friendship, I have to tell you
right.
that I told
out of his
you.
duty as a homie,
Yeah.
he has to,
Yeah, but as a homie, you shouldn't take the video down.
But as a person of comedy.
I was like, yeah, of course I'm not going to take it down. Like,
right.
I don't give a fuck. Yeah,
And that's the last you heard of that?
That's the last that I heard of that. I was just like, why you hate me so much?
It's funny too, because I felt like if she was going around trying to address everyone that was making content about that must have been a really long job.
I know, because
at the time,
the first one.
Yeah, at the time I was just seeing it everywhere, like this whole like thing. Because I felt like in a way to be fair, it's like, yeah, that happened. But also I think a lot of people were using it as a way to pit traditional comedy against YouTubers or against content creators, where they were like, see, everyone does it. Look at this example. Like it was a good entry point to start the conversation of like, no one is original on Vine.
Yeah,
it was like a good. So
like,
I think, yeah.
Stealing content now is so weird because now we have, I always say this, like TikToker is for the person who has absolutely no talent that wants to pretend like they have it. Right. And that's not really a diss. It's what TikTok was created for. Right. You talk to these people. It's like, no, we put things in this app so the non-creative person can be creative.
It's for everyone to participate.
Exactly. Like you could be that's why you'll see the same joke. Everybody does the same joke, doesn't do anything different.
Yeah. Don't change any of it. Yeah.
Right. And they love it. They go like, they'll do like, I don't know, a couple's joke that one couple did that blew up. And then you see another couple do the same joke.
Yep.
I'm like, what the fuck is this? And then people are all okay with it.
And we're the odd ones out for thinking there's a problem with that.
Yeah. It's like, you stole that shit.
Yeah. It's like, no, that's the point. Like everyone's here to participate in the same activity.
Like, I don't understand why that's so lax, but I guess it's because it's that culture now. Like,
I think so too. Yeah, it is that culture.
I personally don't like that. Like,
no, yeah.
Let people have that joke. That was their joke. Let them
I think
fucking enjoy
we
it.
heavily misunderstood it as dancers too. Me and Dom went through it a little bit because we started seeing all these kids taking Quest made moves and like using them in their TikToks or whatever, and then not crediting or whatever.
Yeah.
And then it came down to a point where like Dom had FaceTimed one of those creators to just tell him like, hey, I'm just here to teach you that in dance, that's not something you do. You just don't take signature moves and then repurpose them without giving credit. And these kids were like pretty receptive. They were like, oh, okay, I get it. And these kids, like, I'm not gonna name them because I won't put them out, but they're the top.
Yeah.
And they were really, really respectful and cool. Next day, just kept on doing it.
Of course.
They just went back and did the same shit, and they never stopped stealing dance moves and put them up. And it was like,
it
okay.
happens so it's literally the place for non-creators to pretend like they're creative.
Yeah.
And it's weird. Like, how do you really like, even on this podcast, I get scared of sharing stories because I know it's going to end up in somebody else's script.
Sure.
It happens. Like, it happened to Dumb, and Dumb was okay with it. Like I said, I'm not trying to stir shit, but he had like the writer of Beef on there. He goes, "Oh, actually, there was a joke in Beef that I got from your podcast. It was about recognizing the back of Asian people's heads. I got it from this podcast." And Dumb was like, "Yeah." He's like, "That's dope. That's dope. Like, that's from us." I'm like, "No, that's not dope. He stole your shit and put it in a script."
Is that?
But then Dumb was, like I said, Dumb's fine with it. For me, it feels weird. Like I said, like I feel like I'm not a part of these times, because if somebody blatantly told me that, look, you took a bit of mine and then you just blatantly put it into your script.
But then that's for traditional media.
Yeah, it's for traditional media.
So isn't there a little bit more of a?
That's what I'm saying. I don't know.
Because I would understand if it was for short form, whatever, because no one gives a fuck. They just make stuff. It's about making it now.
Yeah.
But then traditional media, there's at least a bridge that they can cross and go, hello, Dumb. Like,
yeah.
Hey.
It's like, dude, I like a lot of the bits in your podcast. Like, I want to use that in this script. Is that cool? Like, can we exchange whatever?
And
whatnot?
that's a thing that happens. So what happened there?
Like, honestly, you would look at that stuff too, and there's a lot, like, obviously there's parallels that people have in like a lot of lives, because it's very Asian American, Korean American. But I'm pretty not surprised that they stole from a lot of people's like Asian American podcasts. So like, watching that type of stuff, like him openly say that, like, it's cool. I'm like, that's actually not cool in my opinion. But like, and Beef was great. Like, Beef was a fucking amazing series. So like, hearing that was disappointing for me. It's like, you're a writer, bro. Wouldn't you hate it if somebody did that to you? You're a fucking writer, man.
Yeah.
You know, but like I said, I still enjoy the show. It doesn't change that. I just thought it was really weird.
I think it's weird when it's the same community. I don't think it's as weird if it's on fucking, some white show.
Yeah.
Then I'm like, yeah, of course, because they're drawing from all these, like, they're researching for the shit. But then if that doesn't seem like it's too many degrees away to just give a heads up.
Yeah.
At least to me. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know shit.
What if I didn't even want credit? It's like, yo, thanks for the heads up, because it would suck for me to find out. Yeah,
the respect. It just feels like the respect was not there. But
I actually saw the onslaught of people being okay with stealing content so anybody can be famous was when I did this. There's this kid who was blatantly taking my YouTube vlogs where I would just talk shit to camera and just using it as stand-up sets, which pissed me off because those YouTube rant vlogs it was just bad stand-up that I would repurpose and put into vlogs. And then he would go up on stage and then bomb with it. I'm like, don't you dare use my bad stand-up. It's a misrepresentation of me. It's only funny in video form.
Yeah.
And so he would steal.
He's bombing with your shit.
Yeah, I'm like, you do it right.
That's even funnier that it didn't go well.
Exactly. I'm like, I am way funnier than that. But I literally like put this kid on blast. I'm like, you're stealing my shit. And then like there was at the time like 20% of people was like, what's the problem if it makes people laugh? I'm like,
see, that's the generation though. That's the gap. And again, like we
had to work hard for this.
Yeah.
It took me time to figure out how to make this fucking funny. You weren't up there on set with me getting bombing on stage to figure out what could make people laugh. You weren't out there fucking doing like trying to figure out like my style and dance and everything else to figure out what makes this work. Like you didn't have to go through all that other stuff. Right. You get to take it like that and say it's yours.
You know what's the difference with that shit? Which like really, it hit me pretty hard to realize this, is that we don't tend to, as old-fashioned creators, we don't exploit our own material. And the way that I realize that is that if a TikToker thought of a move, you will see a million videos of that one move.
Yeah.
But then in our day, it was like that was just one of your arsenal, and it came out when the timing was right, but you didn't exploit the shit out of your own thing. Like, and I think when they look at you, think of something and you didn't exploit it, they're like, well, then you're not going to use it. Why don't I use it? Yeah, exactly. It's that. And it's hard to argue with that rationale because you're like, yeah, you're right. I am just going to kind of keep it here and not do anything with it.
Yeah.
So then they look at it like, well, then you're doing something dumb because you could be making money.
And I also understand too, like Phil too, it's very specific about fucking biting, right? Literally, Boogie Monsters, biters will be fucking eaten. That's like their fucking
That's
motto.
the credo.
Exactly, right?
Right.
And so, even like Phil, like he had like another pop-off moment where he created this move called the Sack Boy. And all of a sudden you see everybody doing it. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, the fuck is that shit about? And then for him, I think it's a point of pride. He's like, hey, that's mine. Like, like I'm not making money off of this shit. So at least like have people know where it came from.
Right.
You know, and he's an innovator. He's a fucking innovator. He's like a genius innovator. So it's like, I understand. It's like, look, if I'm not going to get paid for this, at least like, this is my stamp and my legacy about something I fucking love.
Yeah. Yeah. That's another thing that's hard. It's like, it is difficult to find out where that lies because it's such a gray area. Because we're also, as dancers, we're using shit that we don't know the basis to where it all came from either. Like there's a lot of shit that the proper credit can't be found sometimes.
Yeah. That's why even when I made this like, this reel and I said leche duffels, right? That's from fucking Theo Von, and people were crying like, that's so fucking hilarious. But in the caption I wrote Theo Von.
Yeah.
Right? Because it's not my joke. And I knew people were going to laugh at it. It's not something that I said. I know it's Theo Von's thing.
Yeah.
Right. So I feel weird about that sometimes. And I even got called out before years ago. They're like, oh, you got this from fucking King of Queens or from some type of sitcom. I was like, yeah, but I'm not saying it's my material. I'm saying that I'm hoping you know about this show and we're enjoying this joke because it's an obvious sitcom joke.
Right.
Like if I did, oh my God, I'm not saying I'm doing Kevin Hart. You know?
Yeah.
Like, you know, it's Kevin Hart.
It's a reference. Yeah.
It's a reference.
Right,
we were both laughing at this. Or if we do a Dave Chappelle reference, I'm not saying it's my joke. We're laughing because it's a Dave Chappelle reference.
Do you think that's changed because everyone's watching different shit now? Because remember back in the 90s, if you did a fucking Jim Carrey impersonation, everyone knew. And you saw it everywhere and everything. Yeah. If someone was acting like The Mask, it was like a no-brainer because everyone was watching that. But then now it's like the options are so thick that people think they've got it. They're like, oh, I got you. You copied that. Because I saw that. You know, it's like, huh? Like, what the fuck?
Like, I see it so much even in like food content, right? Where I see these recipes and I see them, this is my recipe. And I just literally Google those exact ingredients and it was from somewhere online. Yeah. It's like, that's not your recipe, bitch. You fucking lied.
It was passed down generations.
Yeah. I'm like, that looks fucking terrible, by the way.
They're like, really? That creme brulee survived the Holocaust?
Yeah.
Okay.
They start creating this weird backstory, or they like even shame people for not knowing something that they just found out themselves.
Oh God,
That's the worst. They're like, you didn't know this? Neither did you, bitch. Oh, for reals? You knew like you knew how kimchi was made?
Yeah.
Like, you know the whole backstory behind it? Your parents sat you down and told you about the backstory about this Korean dynasty? Shut the fuck up.
I love those moments though. Those are so fucking funny when people do that. When they go like, wait, you never heard of that? Wait, hold on. How have you never heard of it? Like, dude, you're really gonna make a big deal out of this thing?
Dude, my manager used to get mad at me because I used to hate that so much. I would do that about like rich people making me feel bad about me not knowing rich people shit because I'm poor, right?
Like, what's a rich people thing?
I know this sounds ridiculous, right? But they'll be like talking about this amazing stuff that they do that clearly I've never done, right? As if I'm supposed to relate.
Can't relate, yeah.
Yeah, they'll be like, oh my God, so I just went to I was just in Germany and I went to Oktoberfest. And I'd be like, Oktoberfest, what's that? I was like, it's January. And he's like, no, Oktoberfest. And I'm like, never heard of it. He goes, you never heard of Oktoberfest? It's like, no. I was like, what do they do? Like, it's like a festival, like a German festival where they drink beer. It's like, beer? What's that? And he's like, you don't. And they're so dumb. They're like, you don't know what beer is? I was like, bro, I've never had beer before. What is that? It's like,
that's a rich
it's alcohol. I was like, no, alcohol is where you go clean a wound.
That is isopropyl?
They're like, dude, is this guy fucking real?
Yeah.
Is he fucking real or not? I was like, okay, let me explain to you, all right? Like, beer's like, you drink it and you have a really fucking good time. And they're like, explaining this to me.
Just
and I'm like
patronizing them to death.
You know, and I could literally hear from my manager, just like, stop. And I'm like, no, I'm going to keep doing this, right? Because he's not going to get it because he's that fucking arrogant. He goes, you don't know what fucking, okay, so like, you know, you could drink it too. I was like, but if you drink it, you're going to die. It's like, no, a percentage of beer. Like you could have like 10% alcohol. And I was like, but is it to sanitize your insides? Like, I would just keep going.
What would you prefer? That somebody talk to you as if you didn't know about something that was like above, or that when people tell you something like, oh, you know, Asians get surgeries to like make their eyes look bigger, like something that you fucking know, you know what I mean?
Because I'm not sure if you've had this, right? Like, you know, when I started going into like all these like industry meetings, they'll be like, oh my God, so I just had a meeting with fucking John Horowitz, and I'm like, how the fuck am I supposed to know who John Horowitz is? And I'll ask, who's John Horowitz? You don't know who John Horowitz is? He just did this black and white film that went into fucking Sundance 30 years ago. Fuck you. Fuck you. Fuck how? How? You're going to make me feel bad for not knowing this guy who created a film 30 years ago.
Right.
How am I supposed to know this?
Yeah.
And they made me look like I'm the dumbest person ever. And so I would start saying things that they wouldn't know about. I was like, dude, man, like I was just, like, Sanchai is amazing. Like, who's Sanchai? He's like, you don't know the best Muay Thai kickboxer of all time? You know, fucking idiot over here.
That's so funny to forcibly change the subject. Sanchai is amazing.
Yeah. And then once again, my manager's fucking mad dogging me. Like, stop.
Do you still have that same manager?
Yeah.
Oh, good.
He's fed up with me. Like, a lot of people get mad at me because they don't understand that I kind of, you know, walk to the beat of my own drum.
Yeah.
And so one of the things that I think kind of gets under my skin that people don't understand about me is they go, you self-sabotage yourself. Like, you could do so many great things.
Yeah.
I'm like, no, you think I could do great things on things that you think is important to me.
Yeah.
Right?
Right.
If I
That's
tell
a different thing.
Acting is not important to me, you can't tell me I'm going to be a great actor.
Mm-hmm.
I know I could be. If I dedicated my life to it and I worked hard, I know I could be. But I don't want it. So what does that mean to me?
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So that idea that some people want things from me that I don't want sometimes gets under my skin.
Well, that's hard too for an agent because that's their whole job is to get you to want it more.
Yeah. And that's like, well, then stop sending me to these fucking auditions I don't care about. Dude, one of the funniest auditions that I got to, by the way, and I still have it somewhere. Maybe I'll post it if I can find it.
You have the footage of you auditioning?
Like
the submission.
Self-tapes. It was like a self-tape.
Okay. Yeah.
And this is when self-tapes weren't mandatory, but I was allowed to self-tape a lot because I was doing so many other
because you were
things.
just gone.
Yeah. So it was for me playing a teen wolf. And let me tell
Teen
you,
Wolf?
it was for like a Teen Wolf spinoff of some sort. And I'm supposed to play like this Asian wolf, right?
Okay.
And I remember like looking at my agent at the time and I submitted this thing. I was like, hey, what the fuck, man? The role literally says handsome, fit, and young. The only thing I fucking survived, like, it doesn't make sense at all. I was like, what am I, a fucking Burmese mountain dog? Am I a chow chow? Like, what?
They're willing to rewrite.
Yeah, they're willing to rewind. I was like, what do I do? A pug? Like, I used to get so mad at this guy. I sent that in and I guarantee you they were laughing at me.
Oh, no.
Yeah, and like, is this serious?
What if they just needed representation for all dogs?
Bro, it was like
all wolves.
It was a script for this moment where I'm literally like having like a flirting moment with like a young hot girl. And bro, this is during the time, it was just after Google. I was like 270 pounds, terrible acne. And I'm like, bro, I'm not getting this role. They don't even, and it's funny because he said like, oh, this casting director, like, I just need them to see you. I was like, I just had lunch with them yesterday. Why are you sending me for this role? And I remember I talked to that casting director. I was like, how hard did you laugh at my audition? And like, we didn't laugh. I was like, you fucking laughed. Don't lie, because I was laughing. Right?
They had to have laughed.
I was like, you have to laugh.
Dude, casting people laugh at good auditions.
Yeah. I was like, how often do you get these stupid auditions like this? They're like, honestly, a lot. I was like, you don't want to see this, right? They're like, no, we don't. I was like,
but they
thank
just
you.
they just be throwing everything. They're just like taking chances on anything.
So I told them what I wanted. I was like, I want theatrical film only. Right?
Yeah.
And then it's like, this is what I want. And like, send me a role that I need. And like, no, we're just going to shoot. I was like, all right, then we're done.
Did you ever get a audition for a role that you thought you were fucking perfect for and you still bombed?
Yeah. It was actually for Beef.
Oh, really?
It was a David Cho's role.
Oh, you know what's funny? You told us about that, but we didn't know it was Beef at the time because we didn't know. Remember? You were like telling us that you thought you were so good for it.
I thought I was really good for it.
But you didn't bomb. They just didn't pick you, right?
I mean, they already knew who they wanted. And so it was one of those situations. And also, too, it didn't make sense. It was one of those roles where I think, okay, maybe I could show them something. But maybe my audition wasn't good. But I felt good about it because I knew what Korean Hyungs were like. But the way he played it and the way I played it was actually night and day.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but they already had the role for him. So what they'll do if you guys want to go into acting, most major roles are already booked. They just have backups just in case. And they go like, oh, we had to go with somebody else.
Yeah.
So David Cho, they already called him up and they're like, hey, do you want this role? And he already had him, but they were auditioning for that role. But number one, the role was for like a 45, 50-year-old Asian dude that was in prison for X amount of years. And I obviously don't look like I'm in my mid 40s, you know? So I was like, how do I make myself look older? You know,
how would you have if they left it up to you? They're like, come into the studio tomorrow, older.
I would just sit down and make noises.
Let's get started.
I would have really bad fucking spray paint hair.
You gotta squint at everything.
Yeah. Hey guys, I'm gonna start looking at my phone like this.
You forgot to silence it too.
I would tell them to pass me their phone, but I would open up random apps.
Yeah. It's just annoying everybody. This guy is 50.
You could
Give
tell.
him the role.
He somehow got into my fucking iPhone notes. Hey, let me see that photo. And then I open up the fucking notes.
You're hired, you fucking old ass guy.
That's the oldest shit I've ever seen in my life, dude.
Yeah.
Let me see that text message real quick.
Yeah. That's so old.
Yeah.
Dude, you want to know a role that so I've done practically zero acting, but I got called in to read for a role that was so fucking major and out of the blue that I could only blow it. It's gonna like, it'll blow. I don't think I've ever told anyone this, at least not like on a thing. But so when I was doing So You Think You Could Dance, some director really thought that I might look really cool in this role. So then they call me up and they're like, hey, we're gonna send you a script, look it over, and then you're this character, these pages, come in, the producers want to meet with you and they want to see how you are for this role. And it was the fucking lead in Jackie Chan and Jet Li's Forbidden Kingdom.
Get the fuck out of here.
Off of zero acting. They just wanted me to try it out.
What was the part that you had auditioned for? What was the line?
The white kid who's like I never watched the movie, but like in the movie, there's like a white kid who's like the lead in between Jackie Chan and Jet Li, right?
Yeah.
And then there's like a scene in the beginning where he finds like a spear in a liquor store. I don't even know if it stayed that way, but they just wanted me to do the scene where he like discovers like an ancient weapon. It was of no like real intensity, but they just wanted to like to try it out. I had zero, like I'm talking like no acting whatsoever. And I came in on that shit.
Oh my God.
So you can imagine how that went.
Yeah, dude. Bro, there are some auditions where I definitely bombed really bad because I was just really bad at reading scripts.
Oh.
And so, because everything to me at the time was a comedy. And so my very first audition ever, I walked into it was like for an audition for an episode of like NCIS or some shit like that, right?
Yeah.
For some reason I read it as a comedy script and I don't know why. And then as I'm in the auditioning room, right, I read the lines, I thought I killed it, and they go, so that was a very interesting take. Can we do that a little more grounded and a little more serious? I'm like, what? And I looked at the script, I'm like, I'm a forensic scientist and somebody got murdered.
So a man just lost his life. Maybe reflect that.
I go into the car and I fucking lean my car seat back and I go,
Yeah.
One of the most embarrassing moments of my life.
Dude.
And I was like, they're never going to call me back.
At least there's a clear explanation though. At least they go, oh, he must have played it like a comedy.
Yeah. They were like, but
there's no reconciliation for just having a bad attempt. You know what I mean?
100%.
Like what if it was a comedy and you just were terrible? Like that's worse.
I think like the agent that I had to really got really pissed at me because I got callbacks a lot. Like when somebody first acts, they don't get callbacks for almost every role they audition for.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So I'll get callback after callback after callback. They're like, dude, you're right there. You're right there. Like it's crazy. Like I don't get people who get callbacks like that. And then after a while, I was like, no, I'm not doing this anymore. And it just like killed them. So like I get it. Like I understand like they're trying to make a buck, but they didn't understand what I wanted. So
so they were just like misusing you.
Yeah, I just didn't care for these roles. And it's like they also don't understand. Like I think a lot people don't understand. A lot of actors struggle. Yeah. But I've dipped myself into so many other things, and I was a self-made person before acting that you can't dangle this thing in front of me.
That's the part that's different. I feel like it's if you're not a part of the hustle where you're just like starving for the role, like that's a different thing, huh? Because
imagine like even dude, one of the best actors that I fucking know that is also a dancer, Lawrence Cow. Right?
We love Lawrence Cow.
How fucking amazing is fucking Lawrence, dude? Great. So fucking good. And he is a dedicated fucking
We're
actor.
lucky to have fucking Lawrence Cow out there.
I know.
Yeah.
He's a good representation of a good actor.
Right on. Yeah.
He's
also outside of acting, fucking great guy.
I know.
He's cool. He's actually as cool as he seems. Yeah.
Cool as shit, dude. Like I miss that fool so much, man. I actually got to hit him up so we should all just go out and fucking hang, dude. Like
he's not one of those guys like, you see an actor and then they're so cool on screen, but then their actual life, like everyone hates them.
Dude, Lawrence is so goofy.
Lawrence is not that. Like everyone loves that guy.
You can't meet Lawrence is so grounded and just a good person that generally loves the craft of acting. And he's the type of person that I really feel like, dog, man, like, I mean, he's had a really good break recently. He had the CW show with, I'm pretty sure it's going to go for another season.
Yeah.
But, you know, killing it, dude. Such a goofy fucking guy. He had that YouTube channel with his buddy Kunal. Remember Kunal?
Yup.
Kunal's hilarious too. I just had lunch with him not too long ago too.
Yes. Yeah. And Kunal's a homie too. When I was living in Irvine, I saw all those boys like every day.
Nuts, dude.
Yeah.
We're literally a degree apart from each other.
Yeah. And they made those basketball analysis videos.
Dog. Probably top 10 YouTube videos made of all time.
Ever.
MC Echo Squared. There's a physics.
What a fucking win, right? For the community. We're like, yes.
Oh no, he's at the dribble here.
Yeah, dude. And it's so reflective of their actual selves. Like they be saying shit like that all the time.
It was so fucking stupid. I remember crying, laugh. A lot of people don't know that was Lawrence.
A lot of people don't know.
Yeah.
Because how? How would you know?
Yeah.
That shit was reposted without credit 1,000,000 times over.
All over the fucking place,
That didn't have
man.
his name on it. Yeah.
MC equals square the derivative of the no slam dunk.
Lawrence is one of the people I think of whenever I get upset when I hear another Asian actor say, there's not enough Asian good looking men, and I'm glad to be one of those men.
Yeah, it's like dude, you just diss my buddy Lawrence.
Yeah, you talking about my fucking friend Lawrence?
Yeah, dude, I'll fucking beat her up, Shang-Chi style.
Yeah, or Yoshi Sudarso. Like I think of them.
Oh, Yoshi
and I'm like, dude,
handsome as shit. He's also one of the nicest people I've ever met in my life.
He is, yeah.
He's fucking amazing, nice, dude. Beautiful, beautiful fucking soul. Beautiful fucking man. I knocked out his tooth once, and it was
I know. He's told the story on JK.
God damn it. He ran into it.
Is that your story? Really?
It's the truth.
He ran into your punch. So you weren't punching?
I was. Listen.
You were just like this?
Okay, this sounds terrible when you say it like that.
Okay.
So we were doing a slipping drill. And so he was supposed to slip to the opposite side. So I threw, and but he slipped the other way, and I knocked his tooth out.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, that's interesting, because I remembered him saying something like you just go really hard every training session.
No. Okay.
Because we've heard that from multiple people.
Okay. You know what? I've said this so many. Fuck Nick, all right?
Wait.
Fuck that stupid gyoza-eared fuck, all right? That little wonton-eared little bitch, all right? If I've ever learned how to spar, guess who I learned it from?
Oh,
it was Nick himself, right? Because Nick be going hard as fuck too.
Oh, he does that too?
Oh, hell yeah, he does, dude.
Wow.
Like Nick be going fucking hard, dog. And so I sparred just like him. Like he was my coach. I've learned how to fight because of him. Like I honestly try to imitate his style so much, right? Like people don't know actually how good Nick is. Like I'm not just saying, Nick hates compliments.
I hear that so much.
Like even from other fighters, they're like, oh, this guy's fucking good.
Yeah.
Because Nick is very cerebral. He's very smart.
And then he'll just go,
yeah. Nick never likes compliments, but Nick is really, really talented, especially as a fucking fighter. He's really, really smart. Great coach, great everything.
Yeah.
So like I've probably trained in totality, like in classes, maybe less than a year, right? So I just practice by myself all the time.
Yeah.
So like when people always come up to me, they're like, dude, you're actually pretty fucking decent. Like I'm surprised. I'm like, dude, that's all because of Nick. Like Nick was a stickler for like teaching me like really smart things.
I've heard that a lot, and I heard that his like fight IQ is like
it's high
tremendous.
As fuck.
Yeah.
Anybody who trains with Nick, they never say like, "Oh, this guy sucks." They go, "Oh, dude, does this guy fight? Like for reals? Like he should be fighting."
Yeah.
Nick is actually really amazing, but he hits hard too. He hits hard, bro. Nick does this thing where you hit him and he goes, his face changes and this aura. It's like different. Like Goofy Nick disappears, and I go, "All right, time's out." I'm like, "Time out."
He like turns into Akuma.
No, straight up.
Yeah.
Nick is good all around, man. Like
I should just hit him next time I see him.
Nick will just be like, ah.
Yeah.
If you get Nick mad though, Nick becomes a different fucking person.
Yeah, I have a feeling because I've never seen him seriously mad ever.
Yeah. Nobody has ever seen any of us seriously mad. Like we don't get mad like that.
That's true. That's not the form of expression.
I've only seen Bart. I've seen Joe actually seriously mad before at somebody. And it was like fucking, oh shit. I'm pissed. When you see just like serious Joe, I'm like, oh, dude, you must have done something really bad.
Yeah.
Because Joe takes everything as a joke. So I seen Bart really pissed once, right? And it actually almost made me piss myself. Because like Bart doesn't have a middle ground. Bart has extremely happy and whatever to somebody gonna get hurt.
Oh, interesting.
So there's no middle ground. So it was when Barbell first opened up, and Gio just got her brand new car. Yeah. And there was this fucking annoying fuck on the phone, and he was like writing a note on Gio's car, just directly on it with his pen. And then Bart, nice as fuck. Bart's the nicest guy ever.
Yeah.
He goes, oh, excuse me, sir. Can you not write on my girl's car? Like, it's a brand new car. And he just goes, shut the fuck up, like that to Bart.
What the fuck?
And then I'm not even joking. I sensed like this air change. It went from happy Bart to military Bart.
Oh shit.
And I fucking went inside as if like, those old Westerns.
Yeah.
I went inside, opened the blind, I went, shh. And then you just see, I hear Bart going, get the fuck out of here before I fucking murder you. Like just kill him.
What?
Like just stone cold straight face. And the guy looks at him and you can see the guy's like color change because it's not like a threat like, oh, we're going to fight. It's like, he's going to kill me.
Yeah. And
the guy changed and the guy just walked away. And you see Bart come back in. This guy's fucking weird. I'm like,
Bart would say
and I'm sweating thinking about it. I'm like, dog, that was literally the scariest thing I've ever seen. When you see somebody who is consistently jovial, go from this to I'll murder you.
Oh my God.
Oh.
It's so hard to imagine because those two fucking see the humor in everything. Everything.
Only time I've ever seen him mad. And I've never seen him mad ever since then. And I never want to. I never fucking want to. I'm like, oh, this guy has seen shit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because people forget they were affiliating gang members before.
Yeah. It's easy to forget that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They were affiliated gang members.
Yeah.
So their life is they follow a different fucking code.
That's why I got so fucking freaked out when Joe was like, I'm Joe Mama.
Yeah.
That's honestly why. It's because I've only known his reputation as a gangster.
Mm-hmm.
I never knew, like, I would never think the same guy was this guy that's goofing off.
Hart was a super empathetic guy.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Very understanding, a great listener.
Super understanding, yeah.
Fucking great boss. This guy has gone through so much to get to this point.
Yeah.
From the guy to, I can't fucking read this shit.
Right.
Sometimes I look at him, I go, damn, dog, you have evolved.
Yeah.
And then there's other times where I'm like, that's the Joe I know.
Yeah.
One time I remember, I'll forever remember this, was like one day we were at Jknews and then we're all talking and he goes, and we stop and we go, and he goes, oh, my bad, dude. I actually responded to, but I wrote it out in the air.
That was meant for you?
For us to, how the fuck?
I thought he was making a mental note to himself.
No, he was responding to us with this note in the air and he forgot he didn't say it out loud. Bro, I'm like, that's Joe right there. Out here in Vietnam eating hooker pussy.
Yeah.
When he told that story on the podcast.
When was the first time he told that story?
I think he told it on Jknews first. He told it he used to be on my podcast a lot.
Yeah.
And then but he was just all over the place and the pandemic happened.
Yeah.
So us doing it together didn't make any fucking sense. So I was like, okay, like I'm just gonna do this on my own. And it wasn't enough to split the money anyways.
Okay.
So he told the story. It was after his Vietnam trip.
Yeah.
And bro, I cried because I'm like, the fuck did you just say to me? Who the fuck hooks up with somebody whose job is to suck your dick and then you eat them out?
I didn't even believe it until like the third time he told it.
I was like, this is not a real story.
I thought it was a bit like for 2 whole times.
Yeah.
I was like, oh yeah, this bit.
And then she asked him to come back for like, she didn't have to do any work. And then he tipped her amazing. It's like, bro, this guy is the funniest guy I've ever seen in my life, dude. And there'll be moments in Jknews where Joe will talk and say the funniest thing ever, but he doesn't know he just said something ridiculous. Yeah. So he's like laughing because he knows that he's supposed to laugh, but doesn't know that he just made a joke. I'm like, dude, you don't understand how fucking funny you are. So like me and Steve have always said it, like if he could harness this, he would be the funniest stand-up ever.
Dude, he's so fucking crazy, man.
Like you've had years of experience with him and without even knowing that it was him.
It's also, he's so unpredictable.
Yes.
Like that's I think my favorite thing is that if you watch like JK and like, let's say Anthony's talking, so he's right next to him. So the camera's forced to be like, for him to be seen. He's just going like this. For the longest time, like forever. He's just like, and then like it snaps and then he says the craziest shit, but he probably wasn't even thinking of that. He was just like sitting there.
Joe, dude. Okay, last fucking story, I swear to God. Joe can't sit still. It's really hard for him, right? So Joe's a grown ass man.
Yeah.
This is Gio's dad's funeral, right?
Yeah.
And we're all sitting together. We're all in a suit, whatever, whatnot. And I just see Joe in the corner of during a funeral while everybody's crying like this.
Like a kid.
Because he can't sit still at a fucking funeral, bro. And he's just stretching his shirt out like, God damn it. And
it's like a child.
Exactly. And I knew
so
exactly how he was as a kid.
Yeah.
Like staying still was impossible for him.
Oh, man. Yeah.
And that's how it is for me too, but he's 10 times worse than I am. And he was dying, just trying to like fucking stay still. I've never seen an adult do that before.
And of all times and places.
Good
spot to do it.
Out of all fucking places, dude, like just watching him, dude, that was so hard. Like there are moments that we have definitely shared, like you know, when Gio's father passed away, like we didn't tell the public at all for the longest fucking time.
Yeah,
she wasn't comfortable with it, which is great, which is something I really appreciate about Gio. Like she shares what she's only comfortable sharing with. Like not everything is for everybody, and you know, she's like one of the most misunderstood people on JK.
Really.
A lot of people who hate her don't know who she is, and they don't understand how amazing.
Why do they even hate her? Is what I don't get. Like, I
think like she's just easy to fucking pick on because she's really pretty. You know what I mean? And she says like whenever she says something, people are like, oh, you think you're so fucking cool. You know what I mean? It's like, dude, Gio is one of
what?
Like I don't get it. Like Gio is actually one of the most down to earth motherfuckers I've ever met in my life. She has made a lot of mistakes, just like all of us have, right? But she's also learned to apologize for it. Like she has said sorry multiple times for things that she's fucked up with, which is amazing. You know what I mean? She is one of the most misunderstood members of JK, dude. Like I love Gio as if she is literally my own blood. Like I could be next to Gio, sit, not say anything, and be very comfortable in that silence.
You guys also, like you and Gio, look like you have dead on the exact same love language.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Yeah, you know what I mean?
We call each other twin flames because we're very, very similar in that. Yeah. And like, there's nothing that needs to be said between us, but I'm just very comfortable with her. Like we used to do this thing in JK News where I would always go outside and just need to be by myself for a second. There's a lot of energy. Yeah. And I would just sit in my car, do nothing. And then she'd be out there. She would just sit next to me and do nothing. Yeah. And it was just very, very nice. And early on, we're like, yeah, you don't gotta say anything. Just chill. Cool. Like, cool. Chill. And then we go right back in. And so like for her, she really does feel like a sibling of mine. Like, like I've known her for fucking years. Yeah. So like sometimes when people say disparaging things about her, I take it personally because it's not about me, it's about her. And it's stuff that's very untruthful. Like, it's like, damn, you don't know how fucking amazing this woman is. Like, she is so, my first experience of knowing how amazing she was is like, I tweeted that I got into a car accident, like my fucking tire busted, right? I didn't know anything about her. And then she called me, she goes, hey, are you okay? Like, I just saw your tweet. Like, hey, do you need like Bart to come and help you out and stuff? I'm like, fuck, bitch, I didn't know that I was like close enough to you for you to do that for me. But we connected and we bonded really well. Yeah. And she's always been that person for me. So like, and I'm not saying that I haven't done weird, fucked up things too, in terms of like not being reliable, but she's always been reliable. And sometimes I'm not the most reliable person because I have ADHD and I'm all over the fucking place. Right. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. But she has always been a staple. So like, say what you want about her. She's one of my favorite fucking people on this fucking earth.
She was like I've always looked at her like she was kind of the olive branch between like the Quest community and like the JK community, because even if we would invite JK or whatever to things that we did, she would always come out because everyone's so fucking busy and it's like totally understandable. But she would always make time to come to things. Like she would come to all my birthday shits. Yeah. And I'm like, dude, aren't you busy? Like, yeah. But she would still show up and she would hang out all the way till the parking lot kickets. Like all the way to the end. Yeah,
Gio was just always really, really cool. She definitely had a period in her life where she didn't know what she was like doing and she couldn't figure herself out later on in life. And then, you know, those were times for her that were really tough. And she doesn't openly talk about that stuff either. And while we're obviously not gonna get into details about that stuff. Yeah. But during even those times, she was very like supportive of me and you know, gave me advice and was very loving towards me. Even when she was going through hard things. So like like those are the things that people will never understand.
Yeah.
Like you have to understand, like in order for people to have a friendship for fucking over a decade, there has to be something good about these people.
Right.
Like unless all of us are evil people, but even evil people don't stick together.
Yeah.
They're
Right.
alone.
Right.
Evil people are alone.
Mhm.
They are by themselves at all times.
And they're constantly trying to usurp each other, and that's not happening.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I remember even tearing up watching them first buy their first house together. Like watching them get that house, it made me fucking tear up because it was just very beautiful to watch. Right. And so.
And now they're 8 houses in, and
I know.
it's still tearful.
They've had fucking 14 forever homes.
And every time I tear up.
Yeah. It's like, this is my forever home. Yeah. Hey guys, I'm selling my forever home.
But it's only for a profit of millions.
Yeah, millions, dude. And they made great fucking moves, dude. And I love them, dude. Like that's when you know you're in a part of a good group, when you see somebody just do really well, and then it makes you happy to see them be very successful.
You know what's so dope about them too is they're always trying to share everything they discover that helps them. Like Bart's always telling all of us, like, yo, I did this thing, do it. It got this good, like it did this. And they're always sharing it. They're not like shysty about like, oh, we figured this financial trick out.
Yeah.
Pay me for it.
Dude, whenever I need help with like my clothing brand or it's like some other advice, he's always like, hey.
Dude, always.
Like you should do this, this, and that. And he's helped a lot. Like when Secret Society was struggling, I brought a lot of his like marketing genius over to what we did, and it helped out the brand a lot.
Dude.
And he's like the guy who really believes everybody can eat at the table.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know?
It really is like too good to be true. Like you don't think people are actually like that. And you think it's kind of more of it's not a real thing.
Yeah.
But that is who he is. Yeah.
Gio too has always told me like, hey, if you need help, and like if I told her, it was like, hey, like I haven't recorded podcasts, like, can you come and shoot like 4 episodes with me? I guarantee you, like she goes, okay, in 2 weeks, I'll be available. Bart will be here. He'll take care of Taika, and then I can shoot that for you in a day, and I can fly out.
Sick.
That's how down she is. Right? I will never have her do that, but I'm pretty sure she'll do it. Like she's even like every time I show up, I'm like, oh fuck, I forgot to do a podcast. She goes, hey, let's go shoot one right now. Let's do one together. I'm like, damn, that's so nice. I don't want you to. Like, I'll figure it out. But dude, that's fucking.
Yeah, it's nice to know that that's how down it is. Yeah.
Yeah, she is pretty fucking amazing.
Dude, did we tell you about what happened when Bart's dad had passed?
Mm-mm.
So like his dad passed away and we didn't know, and he still came in and shot JK.
Crazy.
And just didn't say anything. And then he came in on day 1 of shooting. Back then we were doing 3 days in a row. He came in on day 1 of shooting. His dad had already passed, and he just stuck it out and didn't tell us until after the 3rd day.
Damn.
And he didn't miss a beat. He didn't seem like sad.
Bart has learned to like get in touch with emotions only recently. So he was actually really bad with one of the things that Bart told me that I didn't know. He was like, dude, you know, like you were the guy in JK that got us to hug each other. Because I'm a church boy. I hug everybody. I still give my mom kisses and shit.
So they weren't doing that?
They were really hugging each other. And I started fucking hugging the shit out of everybody. And I didn't know it was like a thing. He was like, Gio said that too. I think she said to me in passing from what I remember. She goes, you're the one that got everybody to hug each other because you kept hugging everybody.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was like, yeah, like nobody fucking hugged each other. Like you hug everybody. And I'm like, that's true. I do. But that's how I grew up.
Yeah. It's the turn to your neighbor, hug your neighbor.
Yeah. Like, hey guys, look at the person next to you and hug them.
Welcome the new people. Yes.
And it's like, I hate you, but here you go.
Touch the shit out of them immediately.
yeah, exactly. So like they like Bart. This is fucking funny, by the way. So Gio, helps Bart a lot with his emotions a lot, and then Gio was like telling him like, hey, you need to tell like your closest friends about this because you need somebody to bounce this off of. So he tells Joe first, and then he tells me next, and then I think he told you guys after.
Yeah.
Bart is a comic first, always.
Yeah, of course.
Right, and I was like, hey man, like. First of all, I got hella mad at him because I was like, he messaged me. He goes, hey, David, like something big happened. I need to tell you about this. I was like, hey, dude, what's going on? He goes, I'll tell you later. I'm like, fuck you. You fucking fuck. Whole day. I'm in Hawaii trying to open this door.
Oh, he really did tell you like that?
Like that. And it was on my mind. And I messaged him.
Just took up all that real estate.
Dog, it was like fine, like 8 p.m. or something. I was like, hey, are you going to call me? Right? He goes, oh, yeah, I'll call you. And then he finally tells me what I was like, dude, this is the craziest thing I've ever heard in my life.
Yeah.
And this fool started, he goes, dude, my mom told me that, like, hey, like, do you think your dad killed himself because of me? And I told her, no. I was like, of course not. But in my mind, I was like, probably you're annoying as fuck. this fool busting jokes
Yeah.
even then. You know what I mean? And he was like processing the whole thing. And he's one thing that Bart and Gio are very good about is that when they go through their own personal problems, they're very good at not putting that on other people. A lot of people don't do that. And I've been around people who, whenever they go, they dump it all on us. We're their fucking emotional tampons. They take and take and take. And then it's still not enough.
That's what I heard, that like Bart and Gio, if they were arguing before JK, they would just go outside and deal with it. And then.
You want to hear some other funny story?
Yeah.
We're in Hawaii. These fools, they were fighting. And he only told me about this after because they went into the room together. I thought they were like, making out or whatever, whatnot. Bro, they were fighting, but they were whisper yelling at each other. So, and then like, he told me, they were telling the story. I was crying laughing. He goes, yeah, like we were actually fighting that day too. I was like, I didn't hear you guys. Like, yeah, because I was fucking whisper yelling at this bitch. So like he said that they were across at each other from the queen size bed, going like, you fucking bitch, I swear to God. I fucking hate you. It's like, you want to leave this fucking room? You want to leave this fucking room? Fucking leave this room right now. Don't you fucking talk to me like that. I swear. Like, fucking doing this for like
he thought they were making out.
I thought they were having a good old time, and they were whisper yelling at each other. Dog, they're so fucking hilarious, man.
Dude, I feel bad because when we didn't know, right? And we're doing these episodes, we made a lot of fucked up jokes about shit that would have probably triggered it for him. You know what I mean?
100%. But
we didn't know. We were just fucking joking and shit. And then as soon as he told us that, all of us like looked back and we were like, we made so many fucking death jokes and we're making him participate in it.
Dude, Bart, the funny thing is like Bart probably made more jokes in his head than you guys did.
Yeah, dude.
He copes with things differently. I mean, he coped with the grief later on.
Yeah.
Right? Because he's compartmentalizing
everything.
Yeah. And, he openly talked about it on his podcast and like how he kind of dealt with that grief and trying to figure out what's going on. But I'd be making fucking like suicide jokes to him all the time still.
I mean, I love that he's down to joke about it because I think I would want to heal that same way. Like, I wouldn't want people to crowd around me all sad. Like, I would want that same exact treatment.
He just did one recently because Father's Day. And he was like, hey, man, you want to come to my house this weekend? Because I was like so pissed because like Vegas was was sunny, but it was gloomy here.
Yeah.
You should come this weekend. I was like, I can't. It's Father's Day. He goes, oh, I said, I was like, that's right. I don't want to celebrate that because my dad killed himself. And then Gio's dad croaked too, so.
Oh, fuck, dude. Yeah,
he's just stupid, dude.
It's so great, though. Like, what a great way to heal, though.
Yeah.
Like, to have that humor and have everybody around that understands that.
Best quality about him, too, like, he knows that he's fucking flawed. And so when he makes a mistake and he truly knows that he makes a mistake, he doesn't make excuses for it. He actually just apologizes. So sometimes the things that people will hold against him is like, I can't believe Bart said that fucked up thing. I was like, but did you talk to him? Because if you explain it to him, he would like try to break it down. But if you get through to him, he'll never do it again. Like, he has messed up stuff where I've had to talk to him about.
That's happened with you? Like, you've had to be like, hey, that was messed up?
Well, not to get into too many details, but it wasn't like personally to me, but they've had me talk to him because he's a close friend of mine. And it'll be like, hey, like, this is what it is.
Oh, okay.
You said this thing, you should probably go and apologize. And then he'll be like, oh, I got it. Never does it again.
Yeah. I could see him.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So that's a really great quality about it. Once you get through to him, he goes, oh, I get it. Some people would just get frustrated and they can't communicate very well.
Yeah.
And they would walk away feeling like he's the biggest asshole. But I'm like, Bart's a very black and white person. So talk to him and don't get mad and walk away. Say to him like, hey, like, I know this is how I feel, blah, blah, blah. And be able to have that conversation with them.
Yeah.
And then he'll get it.
I feel like that's almost justified to assume that because most people wouldn't react that way.
Yeah.
Like, most people are prone to just try to make excuses or rationalize why they said this, and it becomes a long drawn out thing that maybe not everyone wants to deal with at that moment.
Exactly. And Bart's not like that. Like, Bart's actually very easy to understand, but because he's black and white, sometimes he's very well misunderstood. So, but once again, like, his greatest qualities always outshine like his small bad qualities. You know what I'm saying?
I think I've yet to like see anything like that happen.
And you probably won't. Like, he's very good at separating his life like that, right? And he's also, like I said, I hate sometimes people would never give them the grace.
I respected for a long time now that they don't speak on what happened. And then even when I hear little tidbits, and I'm always like, yo, why don't you guys want to just square it off and just, because then I always felt like if everybody knew what they knew, it would be easily understandable, and then there wouldn't be any like negativity. But they
Also,
have
too,
that
'cause,
high
like-
road, you know.
Yeah, and also too, like, you just want people to be happy because
Yeah.
happy people don't hurt people.
Yeah.
So, yeah, we want everybody to be successful. Any person who used to be a part of it outside of the drama or anybody else,
Yeah.
you always want them to be successful because if they're not, they end up bitter.
Yeah.
Even though it may not seem like it, I joke around a lot about things. I'm like, fuck these people. No, I actually want them to be successful.
I think that's what's funny is that most people wouldn't expect it to be such a mature point of view from like guys that are so goofy.
Yeah.
You wouldn't expect them to be, because I didn't at all. And hearing it from them, and they're just such well wishers to everybody.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, damn, that's usually you expect when you're behind the scenes finally that you get to hear the real shit.
Yeah.
But how anticlimactic is it that the real shit is so nice?
Yeah.
It's like, what? I thought after knowing you guys for so long, I would hear the real thing, and it is just that simple.
Yeah. And in that
Yeah.
situation too, people also have to understand this is also a company and there's a lot of people who quit and leave.
Sure, yeah.
Right.
happens all the time.
It's also just a regular job as well.
Yeah.
You know, so people will leave and they'll move on and they'll do great things.
Yeah.
And they'll do great things without the company.
I still think that you guys did an amazing job navigating through a fledgling industry. Like it wasn't like there was a blueprint to follow.
Mhm.
It's like you guys were just trying things. And the fact that it still exists today, nothing exists today from back then.
Dude, they don't.
Everything is fucking gone.
Yeah, like nobody has stuck around and we're still here. We may not get the most views ever. We might
Yeah.
be struggling a little bit.
But that's also due in part to there's so many places to pay attention to. Like the market's huge now.
The market has been saturated,
Sure.
but we still love what we do. And
Yeah.
we still continue to do what we do. And that's why when we come to work, or quote unquote, we call work, it's all fucking fun and love, dude.
Yeah.
We get to joke around. We get to say things in an open space and make mistakes and not be judged.
Yeah.
I fucking love that. There will never, ever be another workplace like this ever.
Yeah.
Ever.
No.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Where you could even say your gripes and they'll listen.
Mhm.
And you're not going to get fired. And they're not going to try to figure out a way to fucking put you out of a job. They'll just be like, okay, cool. We discussed it. Let's move on from this type
Yeah.
of shit.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
So like shout outs to them. I know like half this podcast is dedicating to talking about how great these guys are, but they never talk about it.
They'll never mention it.
No, they'll never.
Yeah.
I mean, why would they? They're not Simu. So they. Well, guys, that wraps up this episode of the Genius Brain podcast. I know I said I wouldn't make any more Simu jokes, but it's so funny. Shout outs to Simu, man. I love your fat head. I love it, dude. You're the best actor I've ever seen in my life.
Do you always end every episode with a praise to Simu?
I have to because people think I hate him, dude.
Okay.
I love him, dude. I fucking love him, bro. That part in the movie where you were like, hiya.
That part.
Favorite, dog.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, shout outs to Semen Lube, man. It's my favorite thing I use before sex. Genius
Oh my
Brain every
God.
Sundays at 12 p.m. You could obviously find Ryan on Instagram and at JK News. You got it. By the way, if you're looking to book a studio for some creative art space, you have to hit up Ryan's stuff.
I sold them both.
Okay, hey, by the way, fuck that
But still
company.
book them. They're great owners.
Oh, never mind. It's a great company. You're killing me right now, man.
Yeah.
Did you start something new though?
Yeah. I do. We just do set design now for different projects. That way,
If
we
you
don't
guys
have
are
to-
looking for fucking
Yeah.
set design,
Yeah, thank you.
hit them up. Amazing work. I actually thought that's what it was. I thought it was a different arm of that.
Oh yeah, it kind of is. Yeah.
But you sold that company.
Rather than work out of like make one space and just exist there, we just want to make spaces and then leave the space and then be like,
you.
it's yours now.
Damn. Next time you come on, we'll talk about that stuff, dude. Because I want to talk about that.
Oh, yeah,
Because
yeah,
like the
yeah. Oh, yeah.
creative part of that's fucking amazing.
Sure, yeah.
Because I can't do that. So when I see you guys create a space,
Oh, yeah.
I'm like, how the fuck did you think of that shit? You know what I mean? It's pretty
Yeah.
fucking amazing. But
Thanks, man.
yeah, check out all of Ryan's businesses. Remember JK News, and also check out Ryan at Ryanime.
Yeah.
On Instagram.
It's
Genius Brain.
Ryanagram on Instagram.
God, son of a
Someone
bitch.
took Ryaname.
Did they?
Yeah. And they've held on to it ever since.
You fucking
I know. Whoever you are.
pussy bumble
Let me
bitch.
have it.
Like David's the worst plug. He's literally gotten every piece of information wrong. Ryanagram. God
It's okay.
damn.
People remember it better when there's a discrepancy in the info.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Ryanagram.
Yeah.
All right. Check that shit out. Genius Brain every Sunday is at 12 p.m. We'll see y'all next time. Peace.
Thank you.